say no way. Enemies are teaching you the wrong way. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Do you know your history? Yeah. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Do you know your history? Yeah. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah, yeah. Searching for the road to the way back. We don't know our father's going way back. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah, yeah. We the chosen people, you say no way. Enemies are teaching you the wrong way. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah, yeah. Do you know your history? Yeah. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah. Do you know your history? Yeah. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah. Searching for the road to the way back. We don't know our father's going way back. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah, yeah. We the chosen people, you say no way. Enemies are teaching you the wrong way. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah, yeah. Do you know your history? Yeah. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah. Do you know your history? Yeah. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah. Searching for the road to the way back. We don't know our father's going way back. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah, yeah. We the chosen people, you say no way. Enemies are teaching you the wrong way. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah, yeah. Do you know your history?
Hey, shalom. Most High in Christ bless. Happy. Welcome to our Hidden History Radio. We're back. It's been a while. This is chapter 4. And to my left,
Captain Joel.
Officer Haim.
to my right,
Officer Jezreel.
and we're going to continue where we left off. Last week we had a bit of complications in terms of the information I was trying to bring out, so I'm going to kind of backtrack into from part 3. Let's go to page 200. We're going to start from there, because this particular topic is going to involve a lot of reading from a lot of books, so I'm going to try to hit these off first. So let me do page 200 first, and we're going to go to where it says, hold on, Pedro de Rios. Pedro del Rios tells us, start from there. Who's reading for me? Jez?
I'll read. Yes, sir.
Thank you. Go ahead, Jez. Go ahead. We got Pedro.
Y'all put the book on the screen?
Pedro de los Rios. Yeah, it's up there.
Blow it up.
Blow it up some. So we read this last week. Those of you who've been tuning in, who've been paying attention, we read this last week, but I left a lot of things out regarding the Olmecs. I was going into the pre-Aztec, Inca, and Mayan civilizations regarding the Olmecs, the Toltecs that came after, that came before. The Aztecs come out of the Toltecs. I'm going to that. I mentioned a few things. So let's go on. Pedro de los Rios. De los Rios, yeah, go ahead.
Pedro de los Rios tells us that the bricks for the construction of the pyramid were manufactured at Tamanaco and passed by a line of men from hand to hand for a distance of several leagues. Of course, the Spanish writers have not failed to connect this pyramid in some way with the Hebrew traditions respecting the Tower of Babel, especially as work on the Cholula tower was stopped by fire, sent from heaven by the irritated deities.
By the angels. Going down during the Olmec period. We're gonna stop at across the sea. Go ahead.
During the Olmec period, that is the earliest period of Nuua power,
Yeah, Nuua power. Go ahead.
the great Quetzalcoatl appeared. We have seen that in the Popol Vuh and Codex
Chimalpopoca.
this being is represented as the half divinity, half hero, who came at the head of the first Nuas to America from across the sea.
Right. So Quetzalcoatl is the Messiah. Last time we aired, we showed how Quetzalcoatl was a black god and how he looked like the Native Americans that were there. He was a black god. He's also referred to, I forgot the other name he was given by the Mayans. He had a beard. He had a white fluffy hair, wool, and he had a huge beard going down to his chest. And he came and taught them as well. I forgot his name he gave him, but it'll come to me. Let's go to let's see. Page 201. Page 2. No. Go down. Go to the bottom. Go to the bottom of the page. Is this what I want? Go to the bottom. No. Go to the bottom of the page. That's it. Go to the next page. It's page 202. Page 202. We're gonna go to. What I want? Hold on. Page 201. That was 200, right? That was 200. Go to page 201. We're gonna start to such differences. To such differences.
Blow it up.
Trying to find where it says to such differences. Hold on. What? Right there. Here we go. Go ahead. Come on.
To where we at?
To such differences, right up top. To such differences.
To such differences in detail, no great importance is to be attached, since all that can be definitely learned from these traditions is the facts that Quetzalcoatl, or Gucumatz, was the most prominent of the Nua heroes, and that his existence is to be attributed to this earliest period.
Right, so another name for Quetzalcoatl is Gucumatz. They all had different names for him, but it's the same, it's all referring to the same one. Hakapotl, his name is Quetzalcoatl, Gucumatz, go ahead.
His existence is to be attributed to this earliest period known in Mexico as Olmec.
So he was around, he was around from the time this Quetzalcoatl was a different name. He was around during the Olmecs, in Mexico as Olmecs, among the Olmecs, go ahead.
But without a distinctive name in the South.
Go ahead, so his name, he had no name in the distinctive South, but it was still referred to the same person, go ahead.
Quetzalcoatl was a white bearded man.
Stop, so it says, see the comma, they try to be slick, because the Spaniards came over there and they whitewashed him. So it says Quetzalcoatl was a white, meaning as in he's Caucasian, bearded man, being demonic. There should be no comma there. Okay, he was a white bearded man, not white and bearded. He was white bearded man, but they try to be slick. That's why I showed y'all last time, like 2 weeks ago, about how the Quetzalcoatl, he was a black god. And I showed you depictions of him on the cross. He's black, okay, or brown. So this is nonsense here. So he was a white bearded man, not white and bearded, but white bearded man. Venerable, go ahead, venerable.
Venerable, just, and holy.
So he was venerable. Quetzalcoatl was venerable, just, and holy to the Olmecs. Okay, or the wild peoples. Go ahead.
Who taught by precept.
He taught by what?
Precept.
So he was doing to the people over here? He taught by precept. Go ahead.
An example, the paths of virtue in all the Nua cities, particularly in Cholula.
Particularly in Cholula. So Quetzalcoatl taught the people venerable, holy precepts and paths of righteousness, which is what? The Bible. The Bible. Go ahead.
His teachings, according to the traditions, had much in common with those of Christ in the old world.
There you go. He was teaching the Bible. Go ahead.
And most of the Spanish writers firmly believed him to be identical with one of the Christian apostles, probably St. Thomas.
Right, so it's believed by the Spaniards that St. Thomas came to this side of the world. How much information, how much true that is, we don't know. But did the disciples come to this side of the world? Is there a possibility? Possibility. But the bottom line is that Quetzalcoatl was here and did teach them the laws. Did the disciples come over here? Possibly so. A lot of things are written that's not in the Bible. Like you read John, it says there's so many things that Christ did that it can't fit in the scriptures. And you read John 21. All right, read on.
During his stay in this region, his doctrines do not seem to have met with a satisfactory reception.
So it says during his stay in this region, his doctrines do not seem to have met with the satisfactory reception, and he left what?
Disheartened.
He was mad. So some of people on this side of the world did not receive or accept his teachings, and it pissed them off. Go ahead. Remember last time I brought y'all part 3. It shows how the prophecy of Quetzalcoatl was they're gonna come here and enslave you. Because he left. He said, listen, when I leave here, the one that come after me, they're going to come here and enslave you. And the Spaniards took that story and said, oh, no, the natives told us that we were sent here to save them, to deliver them. That was a lie that they perpetrated to dilute what Quetzalcoatl actually told them. Quetzalcoatl told them, listen, you're going to be enslaved and conquered. Okay, that's what he told them by prophecy. That's why I mentioned last time that when Cortez came to the side of the world, it says that Montezuma went and started fasting because he knew what was going to happen. He knew. Go ahead. I'm going to stop at I'm going to stop at possess the land. Go ahead.
He predicted before his departure great calamities.
See? And before he left, he said, you guys are being rebellious. And he predicted before his departure, or prophesied before his departure, what?
He predicted before his departure great calamities.
Great calamities because of their rebellion. Go ahead, because not all of them received them. Go ahead.
And promised to return in a future year. Se okoto.
Meaning I'll come back, but you guys are going to go through hell before I come back. Go ahead.
At which time his doctrines were to be fully accepted.
So by the time he showed up, the right people are going to fully accept his doctrine when he returns.
And his descendants were to possess the land.
And his descendants were to possess the land. What land? The promised land. Earlier in part 3, how they claimed lineage from Quetzalcoatl. Okay, and it says earlier in the book that says that he was compared to old Christ. Compared to the old Christ. The old. Go back up real quick. I don't want to mess it up. See, common with those of Christ in the old world. That's who he was. Now, let's go to Revelation 1. Where it said white bearded. Revelation 1:1. Let's see why he had a white beard. Let's see. People say, oh, that's symbolic. Oh, and he came to this side of the world. He had the same exact depiction. He's depicted the same way. White beard. Big white fluffy beard in black. White man came along and said, no, he was white with a white beard. No, he was black with a white beard. You lying bastards. Mm-hmm. Revelation 1:1.
And Deacon, it's sad that we have to constantly prove ourselves
right.
with many documentations, the Bible, and Esau comes with a made-up figure by Caesar Borgia, and they don't have to argue anything.
No. Yep. And we read earlier, 2 weeks ago in part 3, how the Spaniards spread a lie so much that it started to believe it. Okay, it started to believe the lie, like the white image of Christ. Same thing. Go ahead. Revelation 1:1.
The book of Revelation, chapter 1, verse 1. The revelation of Jesus Christ, which God gave unto him to show unto his servants things which must shortly come to pass. And he sent and signified it by his angel unto his servant John.
Go to verse 13.
Verse 13. And in the midst of the 7 candlesticks, one like unto the Son of Man, clothed with a garment down to the foot, and girt about the paps with a golden girdle. Mm-hmm. His head and his hairs were white like wool.
White, and they were like wool. That's the texture. Go ahead.
As white as snow.
As white as snow. White bearded. Go ahead.
And his eyes were as a flame of fire. Verse 15. And his feet like unto fine brass.
Mean brown. Go ahead.
As if they burned in a furnace.
Extremely dark. Extremely brown. Go ahead.
And his voice as the sound of many waters.
He spoke loud. So the natives of this side of the world, from the Olmecs all the way to the Aztecs, to the Incas, Mayans, all of them gave the same depiction of the Messiah. White, bearded, dark, black like them. Now.
And Deacon,
yes, sir.
If I may, right after that, it says just and holy.
Right, just and holy, right.
Can we get that in Romans 7, verse 12?
Right, Romans 7:12. Let's get that. It said venerable, right. It said venerable, just and holy, right.
Romans 7, 12.
Let's see what he taught them.
The book of Romans chapter 7, verse 12. Wherefore the law is holy, and a commandment holy and just and good.
Right.
Exactly. That's why.
But see, he taught them.
teaching
He
right.
said he taught them the principles and doctrines. It says that he was not met with a good reception from all of them. He left disheartened, saying, "You guys are going to face great calamities for being rebellious." Now, Daniel 10, verse 5. To be perfectly honest, I don't have to go into these things, but our people have very, very low faith. So we present these things. I call it, what do I call it? I call these books are called co-signers. Co-signer. The Bible says what it says. You're like, nah, I don't see that. So we bring out the books and go, oh, the white man said it. Now I get it, which is sad. But you know, some of y'all, some of you, it also leads to strengthens your faith, and it gives confirmation as well. The information also gives confirmation, which I don't mind bringing out. But at the end of the day, the Bible is the main source that we rely on. Daniel 10, verse 5.
The book of Daniel, chapter 10, verse 5. Then I lifted up my eyes and looked, and behold, a certain man clothed in linen, whose loins were girded with the fine gold of Uphaz.
Revelation 1, same thing. Go ahead.
His body also was like the beryl,
He had a greenish garment on.
and his face as the appearance of lightning,
Power all around his body.
and his eyes as lamps of fire,
Red, go ahead, red. Same thing.
and his arms and his feet like
Arms and his feet. His arms are visible. Feet were visible because they wore sandals at this time. He wasn't wearing Timbs. Arms and feet. Go ahead.
like in color to
Because
polished
Like in color, because color matters. Like in color to what?
polished brass,
How was it polished? By being burned. Burnished brass. Go ahead.
and the voice of his words like the voice of a multitude.
Same description. Same description. Different time before he's even born. Same description. Now, let's get page 201. We're going to start at Montezuma and we're going to end at European hands. We're going to go to page 201 now. Page 201. That's 201, right? Yeah, 201.
Yeah, got it.
We're going to start at Montezuma.
This is the same book, right, Steve?
Yes, sir.
All right. Yes, sir.
Where's Montezuma?
Pull it up.
There we go. Thank you. Montezuma. I'm going to end at European hands. I guess that goes into page 20. Yeah, that goes into page 202 with European hands. So I have 202 prepared.
Montezuma is known to have regarded the coming of Cortez and the Spaniards as a fulfillment of this prediction.
See that? What prediction? Great calamities. Not them coming to bring deliverance and salvation. It says Montezuma came to understand these guys showed up to bring forth the calamities that Quetzalcoatl had warned them about long before, and his ancestors long before his coming, before their coming. That's why he fasted for days. He didn't come and rejoice and go, oh, here's my daughters, here's some wise. No. They knew. The wise of us understood and knew this guy came to bring us death and destruction. That the Christ who came to the side warned them about. Go ahead. And why would he come? If they're heathens, why would he come here? If they're heathens, why would he come here? No, they're heathens. They're not Israel. You guys, you Negroes are retarded, man. You don't hold the candle to nothing we bring up here. Nothing. Just stop talking.
That's right.
You know nothing at all. Just be quiet, sit back and learn, man. Be mad, produce your cute little black-only group and shut the hell up, man.
Stop being black.
Black.
Damn black people, man. Y'all stupid as hell. You don't know nothing. You don't read no damn history books. You don't know nothing. One Negro had the nerve to say at a, what were they at? Someone sent to me. It was a clip they sent me. It was that they were eating breakfast. And he goes, yeah, these guys is teaching about Solomon. And Solomon had he said Solomon had 2 ports. And what do you think about that, brother? Negroes, he's sitting there, that's a lie. Solomon only had 1 port. And I'm like, okay. Let's say Solomon did have only 1 port. Let's say I'm wrong regarding the first port in the Mediterranean. Let's say that's wrong. Solomon's port, undeniably, which was built when he was alive, not when he was dead, idiot, when he was alive. That's what the Bible says. It was in the Red Sea, right in Edom's land, in Ezion-Geber. If you sail from Ezion-Geber, you end into the Red Sea. As you get into the Red Sea, you're going to lead into the Persian Gulf, which takes you into the Indian Ocean. When you go to, if you're sailing down, you go to your left, you end up in the Indian Ocean towards the Pacific Ocean, toward the Far East. If you go to your left, your left, you go to India and so forth, that side. If you go to your right, you end up in the Atlantic Ocean. If you go further, you end up at the bottom of South Africa, which would be Cape Good Hope. I brought that out 2 weeks ago. Right. If you go beyond Cape Good Hope, you end up in Brazil, you dumbasses. Stop playing with us, man. You don't know nothing. Stop.
Where the bomb at, man?
You don't know anything. Thank you.
Oh, gosh.
Y'all gonna be all right.
Y'all gonna be all right.
Y'all gonna
We
be
need
all
to get a
right.
substitution
I'm gonna start
trial.
making my own sound effects. I'm do it for myself. Anyway. Jesus.
I could be the sword, Dick. I could be the sword.
Be my soundboard.
I can do the black people. Black people.
Yeah, let's do black people.
Hey, Dick, I asked for it, man.
Yeah. You did ask for it, huh?
But Deacon, also, when the scriptures talked about Christ going to be a light into the Gentile, just like Christ warned Southern Kingdom on the east side of the world, the eastern hemisphere.
Right.
In Luke 21, verse 20, when it says, when you shall see Jerusalem compassed with armies, they know that the desolation is near.
Right.
It's the same thing that Christ did on the western hemisphere. He warned the northern kingdom just like he warned the southern kingdom. If I could bring a scripture out real quick.
Yes, you can.
Hosea chapter 8, verse 13.
Yep.
So it's the same warning of southern kingdom going to captivity, being scattered throughout what? All the nations of the earth. Northern kingdom being what? Warned as well. Hosea chapter 8, verse 13.
The book of Hosea, chapter 8, verse 13. They sacrifice flesh for the sacrifices of my offerings.
So just like Quincy Cola warned Northern Kingdom that what? They shall suffer great calamities because not everybody believed. Because after what? After his exit, what will happen? They'll start sacrificing flesh.
Right.
Human sacrifices. When you look at the history,
Right.
what's that movie?
We just read it earlier, but
Yeah.
that temple Cholula, they were sacrificing wickedness on that temple, and that's what Quetzalcoatl taught them. When he left, they started sacrificing their own people there, cutting hearts out like Apocalypto you're referring to.
Yep,
Yeah,
Apocalypto.
Apocalypto.
That's
Go
it is.
Go ahead, continue.
They,
That's it?
They sacrifice what?
They sacrifice flesh for the sacrifices of my offerings.
So rather than sacrificing, you have priests that are set up on the Western Hemisphere that are set up to what? Sacrifice righteous sacrifices. But instead, they started sacrificing human flesh. That's why you see in that movie. Read.
And eat it. But the Lord accepted them not. Now will he remember their iniquity and visit their sins.
So that's when he warned them of the calamities. So when the Spaniards came over here, and that's why you have Montezuma started what? Fasting and praying, because he understood that this is what Christ was talking about. Now he will visit their sins, and they shall do what?
They shall return to Egypt.
And they shall go back into the same slavery that Moses delivered them out of.
Yep.
And then second Egypt, which was what? The biggest captivity or the most destructive and genocidal captivity to ever exist.
Read verse 14.
Verse 14. For Israel have forgotten his maker and builded temples.
See, and it built temples. Those same temples match up with the same ones over there on the other side of the world. They had temples on this side of the world and temples on the other side of the world in wickedness. Go ahead.
And Judah have multiplied fenced cities. But I will send a fire upon his cities, and it shall devour the palaces thereof.
I'm going to conquer you both. Y'all doing the same exact thing together on both sides of the world. So let's go back to where we at. What page is that? Page 201?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead, continue. Where you at? We were at, did we stop? We finish?
No, we didn't finish.
Go ahead,
No,
continue.
sir. Bring it back up.
The first prophet's prediction. Matter of fact, yeah. Go back to Montezuma again. Yeah. It's known.
Montezuma is known to have regarded the coming of Cortez and the Spaniards as a fulfillment of this prediction. And in his speech to the newcomers, states further that after his first visit, Quetzalcoatl had already once returned and attempted unsuccessfully to induce his followers to go back with him across the sea.
Right, that's a lie. That's where the lie came in. Go ahead. And this speech to the newcomers states further. The further is the lie. The further is the lie that Quetzalcoatl sent Cortez them over here as messengers, ambassadors for them to return to their land. That's the lie. That's the further lie. Okay. The great calamities he told them about. But the further nonsense here is there's further that after his first visit, Quetzalcoatl had already once returned and attempted unsuccessfully to induce his followers to go back with them across the sea. That's what Cortez said. That's a lie. Go ahead. We read that 2 weeks ago. If you don't remember talking about, go back to part 3. I go into it. Go ahead.
The first part of the prophet's prediction actually came to pass.
The first part came to pass. The great calamities. That came to pass. Go ahead.
As traditions tell us, for only a few days after his departure occurred the earthquake which destroyed the pyramid at Cholula.
Why? Because they were sacrificing their own people on it. So he destroyed it. He was teaching them there. Then they took that same temple they built to him and started sacrificing wickedness on it, so he destroyed it. Go ahead.
The American Babel.
Wait,
What was it called?
The American Babel.
That temple is called the American Babel. Go ahead, Cat.
That sounds very similar. Also, when Christ destroyed the temple on the eastern hemisphere as well. Remember after he resurrected, he said,
and it cracked.
And he cracked.
Right, and it cracked. Right. Go ahead. When he died, and it cracked open. Right. Go ahead.
And ushered in the new or fourth age of fire,
Right.
according to, I X.
Yeah. It's right. Go ahead. On the ruins.
On the ruins of the next page.
Bring it up to the top. Blow it up so you can see it. Of the what's it called?
On the ruins of the pyramid.
Pyramid is the Cholula pyramid. Go ahead.
Blow it up.
Was built what? Watch this.
On the ruins of the pyramid was built a temple to Quetzalcoatl.
See? Was built a temple to Quetzalcoatl. Go ahead.
Who was afterwards worshipped as a god.
Because when he left, they started sacrificing wickedness on it. Then it crumbled. It cracked. Then they said, okay, let's go back to Quetzalcoatl. Let's worship him again. Let's go back to him again. You understand what's happening? So when they built it, he taught them there. Then he left. Remember, it said earlier that he was disheartened because some of them didn't receive his teachings with happiness. So they started going back into wickedness. So when they went back to wickedness, that temple pyramid, it crumbled. So they built on top of the ruins of that pyramid or that Tower of Babel, the temple in honor of Quetzalcoatl. They knew that was him that caused that destruction of it for their evil that they were doing. Go ahead.
We shall find very similar traditions of another Quetzalcoatl, who appeared much later, during the Toltec period.
So Quetzalcoatl appeared again. He appeared to the Olmecs, then he appeared to the Toltecs, whom which the Aztecs come out of. Go ahead. That's the Aztecs' ancestors. Go ahead.
And who also made Cholula a center of his reform.
And the Toltecs taught his teachings also at Cholula. They built a pyramid to him or a temple to him. They start doing good for themselves. Go ahead.
As we shall see, the evidence is tolerably conclusive that the two are not the same. Yet, it is more than likely that the traditions respecting them have been considerably mixed, both in native and European hands.
See that? So understanding of Quetzalcoatl's prophecies and things he said is in both their hands and Europeans' hands. I mean, what did they do? They whitewashed his prophecy. Oh, when the Spaniards come, they're going to bring you great calamities. But when the Spaniards came and said, no, look, we've come in honor of Quetzalcoatl to save you and deliver you and bring you back to your homeland. But their homeland was Spain, back into slavery over there. They took some of us from over here and brought us over there as slaves, back to Seville and so forth, during the Spanish Inquisition. You see, what was happening was, during the time when Cortez and them showed up, what was happening to our people over there in Spain and Portugal? They were conquering us and selling us. So they brought slaves from this side of the world over there to serve with the slaves in their colonies and plantations in the other side of the world to work alongside us, like San Tome, Angola. They brought them over there too because there were Portuguese settlements in Africa and in Spain and in Portugal. And then once they gained a stronghold in this side of the world, they shipped those same slaves from Spain and Portugal, which would be your Moors or Israelites, over to this side of the world and have both of them work as slaves on this side of the world. That's missing history. And what funded the ships to come to this side of the world was the confiscation of goods from the Jews during the Inquisition. That funded Columbus's trip over here. So the conquest of Israel on one side of the world funded the conquest of another on the other side of the world.
Right.
That's what you Negroes do not understand. Now, where are we at? What page is this page? That's the land. Go to... Read on. Read on. After the time of. Let's continue.
After the time of Quetzalcoatl, we know nothing of Olmec or Xycalanca.
Right, so after the time of Quetzalcoatl, we know nothing of Olmec or Xycalanca. Go ahead.
Olmec or Xycalanca history down to the establishment of the Toltec Empire.
They came after. Go ahead.
When these nations were still in possession of the country of Puebla and Tlaxcala, Barberini conjectures that being driven from Mexico, they migrated to the Antilles and to South America.
So these particular families migrated into Antilles and South America. Their descendants. Watch this. Go ahead.
There's not, however, the slightest necessity to suppose that the Olmecs ever left the country at all.
So you oftentimes hear the Olmecs vanished. We don't know where they went. They're gone. No, they're not. They're not gone. It says that there's not, however, the slightest necessity to suppose that the Olmecs ever left the country at all or disappeared. They're around. Continue. Watch this.
Their institutions and language were the same as that of the Toltec peoples.
Because it's the same people or same families. Watch this. Their institutions and the language were the same as that of the Toltec peoples. Go ahead.
That nominally succeeded them.
That came after them. Watch this.
And although, like the Toltecs,
Like the Toltecs, go ahead.
they became extinct as a nation.
They became extinct by name as a nation, the Olmecs. Go ahead.
Yet there is no reason to doubt that their descendants live long in the land.
But their descendants remain alive in the land under different names, including the Olmecs, the Quinames, the Toltecs,
Right.
the Chilankas, same thing, Chichimecs. Go ahead.
And took part in the new political combinations that make up Nuer history down to the conquest.
Go down to the bottom of the page. Watch this. Read from between Chiapas and Zacatecas. Bring it down. Come on, come on. No, not for me. I see it. For them. Yeah, for Jazz to see. Between. Blow it up some if you can. Well, that's good right there. You can see it? You can see it? Not for me. For him. You see it?
Yes, sir, I see it. Blow it up just a little bit. Just a little bit. All right, right there. You good. Between the Chiapas and the Zacatecas is a vast space of which the only notion given us by history is the fact that the Olmecs,
Stop. That the Olmecs, go ahead.
the Zicalancas,
Chicalancas.
and the Zopatecs lived in the region of Pueblo and Tuscaloosa.
So these nations, Olmecs, these are ancient civilizations on the side. Olmecs, Chicalancas. But remember, we read 2 weeks ago, the two families came out of them. You had the Olmecs, you
Right.
had the Chicalancas. Olmecato was the father of the Olmecs. Chicacanto, I think, is the name of the father of the Chilancas. Go ahead. And the Zapotecs came after. Go ahead. They were around the same time. Go ahead.
They were the primitive peoples.
They were the primitive or the original people. Go ahead.
That is the first known.
The first known to be here. Watch this.
Orozico Barrera, Geographica, page 124.
Yeah, right. The Chilancas. Go ahead.
The Chilancas founded Antelica and
Itzacan.
but migrated to South America.
They migrated to where?
South America.
They migrated to South America. They moved because there was infighting amongst them. So a lot of them were conquered and they began to migrate. And their descendants began to migrate to South America. Go ahead.
The Olmecs, who had been driven to the Gulf Coast, followed them.
So the Olmecs, the Chicalancas were pushed to the south and the Olmecs fall behind them. Go ahead.
The Zalancas possessed the country before the Chicamecs,
So before the Chichimecs, the Chilancas were there first. Chichimecs came after. Go ahead.
by whom they were regarded as enemies.
See, so there was fighting going on. So because of the fighting, they started their different migrations. Go ahead.
Something in Kingsborough's Mexico Antiquities.
Right, Kingsborough. We'll do a Kingsborough later on. South Mexicans.
Name's crazy.
Yeah, that's all right. I understand. Mexicans. Watch this.
Mexicans,
So on, stop. Mexicans.
Chuas,
Coloas. Go ahead.
Tapaniques,
Tapanecs.
Olmecs,
Olmecs.
Zicalancas,
Chicalancas.
and the
Tarascos,
Tarascos, and Chichimecs
And Chichimecs were what?
were all of the same race and language.
See that? Same race and language.
Boom.
Thank you, y'all. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh gosh, you
Appreciate
guys,
you, brother,
hey,
man.
bring it over here, man. You guys are terrible.
Pink slip for
all
everybody.
the same, all the same race and language. See the Olmecs, Mexicans, Chichimecs, that goes to the Toltecs also, were all the same race and spoke the same language.
Wow.
See that? So the Olmecs are not heathens. They're Israelites as well. Ancient ones, the ones who arrived here in the earlier period, during the time of Solomon's time. His fleet came over here. When his fleet arrived here, and then during the time of the Persian captivity, when we received liberty, they came over here again. Okay, and intermingled. Now, so that goes back to the diversity of features. Some of the Negroid features, and you have the intermingled features from the time where they came, 400 plus years later, in Persian captivity. So now, maybe longer than that. Let's go to, I can jump back now, I can jump to my next one. Go to sketches. I want page 113.
Sketches of Mexico, right, D?
Yeah, thank you, Jess.
Oh shoot, sorry. I just realized what.
Yes. They got it now.
Some people's
113.
brain's not working this morning.
Page 113. That's fine, yeah. You already see it now. Just blow it up so the screen. It's all right. You already gave it away. It don't matter to see the top.
Yeah,
of the
look at this. He writing it down over
What are
here.
you talking
He
about?
like, dang.
Making it worse.
Oh,
Just give me the whole thing out of it.
thank you, Jess. Page 113. I want page 113, and we're gonna stop at 114. So 113, and put 114 in there as well because we're going to that page also. Come on, 113. All right. That's 114, 113.
Yeah, this is not the type of history you're gonna get in your high school,
No, you're not getting that.
college.
You're not getting that. There we go. They're gonna start at after the Quinames. Now remember, the Quinams were the families that were around, the Olmecs, all at the same time. Chichimecs, Olmecs, Toltecs came later. Chichimecs, Olmecs, Zapotecs, Chalankas. Continue. After the Quinames. Come on.
After the Quinames came the Olmecs.
So the Quinams are older. Remember we read earlier, the Quinams had what? Negro features. Remember that? They were tall, all right? And then the Olmecs came later and had them heads and all that and stuff like that, the heads and things like that. So after the Quinams came, because remember in that video I showed y'all 2 weeks ago, how the guy was saying they found heads like that around Brazil or South America, because a lot of the Olmecs, they migrated to that area, and their descendants became empires, Aztecs, Incas, Mayans, and so forth. Go ahead.
So after the Quinames came the Olmecs.
Olmecs would be with the Mayans. The Mayans descend from them. Go ahead.
And the Zikalankas.
Or the Olmecs and Mayans have ties. Go ahead.
Named after their first rulers.
See?
Omekoto
Omekoto is the father of the Olmecs.
and Zikalankoto.
Chicalacanto will be the father of the Chilankas. We're going to stop at, continue, at ruins. Page 114, ruins. Go ahead.
These are sometimes represented as two nations.
Right.
But both using the Toltec language.
The Toltec language is from which the Aztecs derived from. Go ahead.
Those settled in
Anahuac.
Anahuac long before the establishment.
Mhm. Next page. 114. The establishment of what? Of the. Come on. Bring it, load up, blow it up.
All right. The establishment of the Toltec Empire in Tula.
Ah, stop. That's what I wanted. Tula. Now, remember 2 weeks ago I brought out there were 4 Tulas. You had 2 Tulas on this side of the world, and you had 2 Tulas, places Tula, on the other side of the world. Now, the Tulas on this side of the world, the scholars are not too sure where they're at, but they are familiar with where the Tulas are on the other side of the world. Okay, so keep that in mind. The Toltecs established the empire called Tula, or the Toltecs. That's why it's called Toltecs. They're either called Toltecs with a U, or Toltecs with an O. It's either referred to as Tola with a O, or Tula with a U, or Tolan. Tolan, Tula, Tola is the same place. All right, so Tulan, Tula, Tola, Tolan is the same place. Keep Tula in mind. Keep the word in the name empire. The Aztecs derived from the Toltecs. Okay? So, and the Toltecs come out of what? The Chichimecs and the Quinams and the Olmecs, all different families of Israelites that arrived here in different time periods. But keep in mind the term Tula or Tola. You have Toltecs, or Tula, or Tola, or Tolan. Same place, or Tulan. Continue.
Whilst nations, they lost their identity before the coming of Cortez.
See that? Because they intermingled so much and they became under different names. Before Cortez showed up, they lost their identity. But what did Cortez do? He made them lose it more. Okay? It made them what? Latinos, Latinas, Hispanics. They became that. Go ahead.
Yet, under new names and other family combinations.
And other family combinations. The Mayans and Aztecs intermingled. They retained their individuality, but they had intermarriages, the Mayans and Incas. Go ahead. And Aztecs. Go ahead.
They were still living in Puebla, southern Veracruz, Chiapas, and Tabasco at the time of the conquest.
They were still there. These civilizations are still there. The Olmecs are still there under different name. The Quanams are still there, different name, and became the Toltecs, different name. Go ahead, but when they arrived, they were no longer called Toltecs, they were called Aztecs when they arrived, when Cortez showed up. Go ahead.
They are generally considered as the first of the Nuac nations in central Mexico. And tradition on the Campeche coast says that they came here in ships from the east.
They came here how?
In ships from the east.
They came here in ships from the east. These nations came here in ships from the east. Go ahead.
And afterward migrated both north and south.
And took possession of their land, north and south. So they arrived here from the east and ended up in where? South America. And either migrated toward the south. They arrived in Central America and migrated up and went down. Some went upwards, some went downwards and do warfare. Some went southward again, or up or northward again. Where we gonna stop at? I said stop at the ruins. Go ahead.
A cape in the state of Campeche still bears the name of Zicolanco.
Still bears the name of state in Campeche, still bears the name of Zicolanco, as in the Chilancas. Same name. Go ahead.
They were an industrious and quiet people, being especially devoted to agriculture.
Watch this.
It is also claimed that the Olmecs built the famous Palenque.
The Olmecs built Palenque. Go ahead.
The oldest city on the American continent.
Go ahead, but now what is it?
But now, one of the grandest of Mexican ruins.
One of the grandest of Mexican ruins, because they descended from these families. All right? So now, let's get page 117. A lot of reading today. No. Give me the Kingsborough image. Kingsborough. This book is worth $60,000. I had it in my possession as a PDF. But unfortunately, somehow, in some weird way, I'm going to say that, weird way, in my folder, in my phone, the folders are there and the chapters are gone. I don't know what happened. The chapters, the folders I had them in were there, but the image, the actual documents were missing now. When that happened? Right there. No, go up. Yes, Jess.
$60,000, man. What reason would you have to raise a book to the price of
right? It's $60,000 is located in the Vatican and it's located in the Smithsonian Museum, okay, and other different ancient libraries, okay. You can also, I believe, you can find it in the Library of Congress, I believe, okay. He goes into the Mexican hieroglyphs. This guy, Lord Kingsborough, was heavily devoted to. He was referred to as an antiquarian, a person that studies ancient history. He was heavily into that. And he spent most of his royalties, he was very wealthy, and he ended up dying in debt because he spent so much of his money gathering all the intel and resources from different explorers that claimed that they were Israelites. He was trying to prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that these guys are Israelites, and he compiled a whole bunch of books and eyewitness accounts of Spaniards, French, British, and compiled it into an 8 or 9 volume set, a bunch of books, okay? And this here is basically excerpts from those different volumes. We're going to read from his excerpts of different volumes here. Okay, you can find these online. This is nothing you can't find. It's very common. I had the volumes, and I had them translated. They were written in, I think, written in different language. But I had the English translations of them. Now they're gone. So all I have now is screenshots. But I will get it back again. Esau, nice try. I still have them. Go to the top of the page. That's the top of the page? All right, let's just start. We're gonna read all of them. Watch this. We'll start from the top. Read on.
It deserves to be remarked that the Mexicans, in the same way as the Jews were accustomed to represent the deity by the symbol of a human eye within a triangle.
We would worship our God. They worship Egypt. Same thing the Israelites did. Next one.
The names of the Chiapanese.
No, not chimpanzees, brother. Chiapanese.
Chiapa,
as in Chiapas. Chiapanese. His brother said chimpanzees. Jeez.
Oh my Lord.
Oh man.
The
Black people. The Chiapanese. Go ahead.
Sorry, D. The names of the Chiapanese chiefs whose heads are found on the calendar bear a considerable resemblance to Hebrew proper names.
So the Chiapanese chiefs, the chiefs of Chiapa, had Hebrew names. Go ahead.
And even the signs of the Mexican calendar seems to have some reference to the emblems under which Jacob, when dying.
Oh, I'm sorry, Amaron. Send me them images, man, from last time. Remember you some of those pyramids and their faces, and send me those. So send them to them. Send them to the group, man. I want those. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Keep reading, D?
Yeah, read it again. I'm sorry about that. It came to my mind just now. I don't want to forget, so I threw it out there. Go ahead, read it again. I'm sorry about that.
I'm gonna read the whole thing. I redeem myself, man.
Yeah, please. Chimpanzees. No, you can't read this up from that. That brother said chimpanzees.
That's the hatred in your heart, brother.
Yeah, brother said monkey. Stay in spirit.
Come on, man. I'm sorry.
How you gonna be a Native American and hate Native Americans? Come on now.
The names of the Chiapanese chiefs whose heads are found on the calendar bear a considerable resemblance to Hebrew proper names. And even the signs of the Mexican calendar
Goes back to the Aztec calendar. Go ahead.
seem to have some reference to the emblems under which Jacob, when dying, predicted the destinies of his posterity.
So their calendar was based upon Jacob prophesying to his sons in Genesis 49. They had their own calendar with stories of their forefather prophesying to his 12 sons. Like we have IUIC as their own calendar, we had our calendar on this side of the world, doing the same thing.
Wow.
Continue. Now jump down to it is not all surprising.
It is not at all surprising that the Spaniards should have been curious to learn the secret history of the Yucatan.
Keep that name Yucatan in mind. Yucatan is a very, very important name to remember. Yucatan. Watch this. That's Mexico. Yucatan. Watch this.
Where they found the cross adored.
Now that's nonsense. The Spaniards, like I said before, they put nonsense. The Europeans plant crosses and go, look, they worship Jesus on this side, Christ on this side, Christianity on this side of the world. Go ahead.
The doctrine of Trinity known.
That because they have paganism on this side of the world. Go ahead, paganism. Go ahead.
And many rites and analogous to these practice amongst Christians established.
So that part I want. It says that they had many rites among the Issacharites or Mexicans, analogous to those practiced among Christians established. So they're already following a form of Christian doctrine on this side of the world before the white or Edomite Christians showed up here. That's what they're saying. Go down. Right, it is remarkable. Watch this part. It's gonna be heavy. Watch this.
It is a remarkable fact that ancient Hebrew inscriptions have been discovered in the Canary Islands.
Because Israelites are in the Canary Islands off of Africa. Hebrew inscriptions are found in the Canary Islands of Africa. Go ahead, watch this.
Which is clear proof that the Jews in early ages passed the Pillars of Hercules.
That's Gibraltar. That's the area between Africa and Spain. When you cross into Africa, you go to Spain. It's called the Pillars of Hercules, or the area called Gibraltar. Go ahead, watch this.
There would be nothing therefore improbable in the supposition that the Jews who embarked from Sicily. The Mediterranean Sea, or some know as Tarshish. Go ahead. From Sicily meditated a voyage over the Atlantic.
To come where? Here. To this side of the world. Once again.
Boom.
Kingsborough knew that. Thank you. Go to Peruvians. It's all right. It's all right.
Thinking maybe it's going over their head.
Maybe
they don't see what we see.
Yeah, they don't see what we see.
Hey, just pass it over here, please.
Yeah. Go to the Peruvians entertained.
Yes, sir. The Peruvians entertained precisely the same notion of the soul.
No, that's not what I wanted. I'm trying to find where I have it. Hold on a second. Talk. I gotta find something.
Yeah. So
You got the cover. Yeah, you got to do it.
So all praise to the Most High. Like I said, it's like even speaking with my father, he always used to tell me that he used to always say Africans made their voyage to the side of the world many times, to many different time periods. And the beautiful thing is we're starting to find out it wasn't African. Israelites going on different titles. Just because it's not saying the Jews, or just like you have the Egyptologists or black scholars like to say that. Where's the records of Judaism? Where's the records of their heritage, of them keeping Jewish customs?
We have them.
Yeah, we have them. But like I said, the scripture says, even thyself shall discontinue from thy heritage. So the prophecy says we shall discontinue from our heritage. How do you expect us to have the records coming off the ships and having knowledge of us being Israelites? We're not going to have that because Esau spend big bucks to hide this information from us. through the grace of the Most High, He's allowing us the opportunity to be able to refine and refine our records. So, like I said, it's very heavy information coming out. We have knowledge of the New World. It was just the white man, he had no knowledge of the New World. That's in his education system. What Esau's education system actually is a dumbed down version of education.
Yep.
It's really not education at all. We had true education. We had the scriptures of Isaiah 42 verse 22. We knew read that real quick.
Yeah, read that. I gotta find this thing. It's important I find it. Go ahead.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 42, verse 22. But this is a people robbed and spoiled.
No. Sorry, the circle of the world. This is Isaiah 42.
Isaiah 40.
40 verse 22.
Yes, sir.
There it goes.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 40, verse 22. It is he that sitteth upon the circle of the earth, and the inhabitants thereof are as grasshoppers.
So we have knowledge of the earth being round, it being a circle. We had knowledge that we inhabited the eastern hemisphere. So knowing that the earth is in its full circle, the fullness, because the white man thought it was half. The earth was only half hemisphere, and you fall off.
Right.
So, but us, so that because why? Because they didn't have understanding of the newfound world. We have understanding of that. So you think that Isaiah just wrote this down and didn't know that the Western Hemisphere exists,
Right.
and that the Israelites were over there prior to his time as well? No, we have knowledge of that. It was well documented, and we understood that. That's why Northern Kingdom took the council, because it was discussed amongst the tribes, that the other tribes were on the other side of the world.
Ezra said it took counsel among themselves.
Yeah, so Ezra just documented what happened on Christ's return. We read Ezra chapter 13. He was just documented the war of Christ and him redeeming the 12 tribes on the mountain.
Right.
And Ezra's like, yo, who's these people over here? He said, oh, no, those are the people that made the council during the Persian captivity as well. But they've been there.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Right.
yeah, so you
Go ahead.
ready,
You
Deacon?
got it. Yeah, you got
Okay,
it.
all praises.
Cat ran out of gas. So, right.
Yo, so I told Deacon, man, keep it short and simple, baby. Make sure you find them books.
I saw it in his eyes. That's it. That's all I got. Right there. That's all I want. Blow
I'll
us
give you
up.
one scripture in class.
Yeah, that's it. Blow us up. It's gonna be good. You're gonna like this one. This is Kingsborough also. This is Kingsborough. This is what I wanted initially, but what we read earlier was good. But I want this. Start from here. Bring it up. One at a time. Start here. The Toltecas. Remember earlier I said it's either Toltec with an O or Toltec with a U, or Tula or Tola. Their empire. Go ahead. See, it says Aztecs here, right? Watch it on top of the screen. Watch this.
Aztecs. The Toltecas were most probably Jews.
We're most probably what?
Jews
Most probably Jews. Go ahead.
who had colonized America.
Who had colonized America. This is Kingsborough.
Wow.
Go ahead. This is an ancient information. This is before. This is right before Mormonism. Yo, you guys teaching Mormonism. This is before Mormonism, idiots. Go ahead.
I'm going to read it over again, Deke.
Thank you, sir.
The Toltecas were most probably Jews who had colonized America in very early ages,
Solomon's time. Go ahead.
bringing along with them the knowledge of a various mechanical arts and instructing the Indians in them, but especially propagating amongst them their own religious doctrines, rites, ceremonies, and superstitions, which seem to have pervaded the New World from one end of the vast continent to the other, and to have extended to some of the islands in the Pacific Ocean.
Because you had some of us on the Pacific Ocean also. Israelites on that side. Solomon sailed the Pacific Ocean, and Solomon fleet sailed the Atlantic Ocean. So you find us in both sides. Go ahead.
Azeka, a Toltec princess.
Right, Azcatquatl, whatever her name is. A Toltec princess. Go ahead. Seems to what?
Seems to be a syncope for Azteca, Koto, a name which would signify the rose of the Aztecs.
See that? So Toltec princess, her name means rose of the Aztecs. So the Aztecs come from the Toltecs. Go ahead.
The rose of the Aztecs.
Watch this.
It would afford grounds for supposing that the Toltecas were also called Aztecas.
Aztecas. Toltecas are also called Aztecas. Go ahead.
And that they proceeded from Aztlan.
Keep that name in mind. You had Tola, Tula, and Aztlan. Atzlan. Go ahead.
The reason for supposing that the domination of the Toltecas had rather merged in that of the
Chichimecas.
Chichimecas
Right, go ahead. Chichimecs, Toltecas. Go ahead.
is the estimation in which they were held long after their empire had passed away, and the pride which the Chichimecan sovereigns felt in being descended from them.
So the Chichimecs descended from the Toltecs, and the Aztecs descended, and the Aztecs is the same people. Aztecs, Chichimecs, and Toltecs are all the same people. Go ahead. Aztec Empire, Aztec ancestors, descendants, all the same people, different names. Go ahead.
How to account for an extreme similarity which their history, their laws, their rites, ceremonies, and superstitions present to those of the Jews would be found in the fact that the Toltecas were Jews.
The Toltecas were Jews. Go ahead.
Who had colonized America.
There we go again. Go ahead.
From
so
whom?
the Aztecs, who come from the Toltecs, were Jews. Israelites.
That's heavy deep.
Go ahead.
Toltecas were Jews who had colonized America, from whom likewise many of the Indian tribes might, with much probability, have borrowed a portion of their early history.
I mean, they learned from their forefathers, and they carried it on.
Dig, you know, something minor I'm picking up from this right here is that it's consistent with the rulership of our forefathers, because they didn't say they had any queens. They said they had princesses.
Right.
They didn't have no queen amongst them, which is consistent with the Jews' way of governing. Yep.
Especially the account of their pretended migration.
Right. Go ahead.
Or
this is the account they pretended, because the Spaniards didn't know how they got here. They would say, "Oh, they came from the Bering Strait." All the Spaniards who had no idea, because the Spaniards believed that the natives were primitive and idiots, and they couldn't have had built ships. No, they didn't have any built any ships. They had to cross over land. They didn't have crossed here. They had to have walked here. So that lie of the Bering Strait came into existence. But we read earlier numerous times that the natives themselves said, "No, we came here in ships, large." I'm gonna show you how large them ships were. They were larger than Columbus's ships, twice the size, and far more advanced and faster than his. We built Solomon's temple without nails, but we can't build a boat? Are you kidding me? Continue.
Or, in the term, we're going to call that Huey today.
Yeah, Huey today. Huey Palan.
Huey Palan, or the Old Red Country. Having been applied to it in opposition or contradistinction to the New Red Country, a name which the Jews would have been likely to have given to the monarchy, which they established in the New World.
Go ahead.
From the striking peculiarity of the red complexion of the Indians, distinguishing them in the manner from all other inhabitants
They're
of the
mahogany
globe.
color. They're reddish brown. They have reddish brown complexion. Watch this. Watch this.
The fact of the Mexicans being themselves quite ignorant of the real situation of a country which their national traditions identify with the Holy Land.
Stop. Stop. You ever had the bomb prepared? I'll tell you right now. Don't be stupid over there.
I think
Don't be stupid over there. We have to do it ourselves again. Read from the top again.
The fact of the Mexicans being themselves quite ignorant of the real situation of a country which their national traditions identify with the Holy Land.
Over time, the Mexicans begin. Thank you. The Mexicans.
Oh God! So it does work. I was going to ask, does the bomb work?
Yeah.
I see you can't be this slow.
The
Oh Lord!
The Mexicans began to forget where they came from. But when the Spaniards arrived, they realized these guys come from the Holy Land. Read again.
The fact of the Mexicans being themselves quite ignorant of the real situation of a country which their national traditions identify with the Holy Land.
Watch this. Come on.
Even much more than the various names strictly applicable to the Holy Land.
Much more than the various names strictly applicable to the Holy Land, which, go ahead.
Which they bestowed upon it.
Watch this.
Afford strong presumptive evidence that the country of Aztlan.
Hold on, that the country of Aztlan, remember that word? Aztlan was what?
Was the land of Canaan.
And what?
And the city of Tula, Jerusalem.
Boom.
Yo, keep dropping it real quick. Keep dropping.
There you
Let
go.
it drop, baby.
That's it. Aztlan was the land of Canaan, and Tula was Jerusalem.
Wow.
Tula was Jerusalem. The Toltecs, Tula, Tolan, were Jerusalemeks. They called themselves Jerusalemeks. Jerusalem-X, Toltecs. All right? So Tula was 4 places. One place, I read it earlier, I think I read it before. I might have bypassed it. I'm not going back to it again. The first place to Tula was Babylon. The second Tula was Jerusalem. Well, first was Jerusalem, really. Second was, they left Babylon. I mean, they left Persian captivity. So the first Tula was Jerusalem. The second Tula was Babylon. And then the third and fourth was this side of the world that's unknown or undisclosed, whatever. But Tula initially was Jerusalem. At's land was land of Canaan. All right? That's all I want. That's all I really need, to be honest. If you don't believe Issachar or Mexicans and Israelites, you can just die in your sleep.
Yeah, don't talk to us. We don't talk to black people.
And may it be painful as well. Where we at? Page, what page are we on in the sketches? Commercial? All right, so we're going to take a quick commercial break. I need a break because I dropped this information. This thing is wearing me out.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so stay tuned. That's it. Stay tuned.
All right, we'll be right back.
Right back.
Stay
Right
tuned,
back.
Israel.
Put your head on ice.
We're going to get the sound effect.
Look into my eyes, tell me what you see. I will be fulfilling prophecy. Esau got to pay for his atrocity, murdering and killing all the kings of my families. God got my back, stopping me. Be the judges of the earth. Wanna be repented of my sins. God in me, they gon' see the beams in my eyes, no hypocrisy. For all these dead years, I was your slave. You don't get the credit, but you gotta pay. Wanna bump your lips? I'ma cut them out. I put them in your hands. I make you watch your mouth. This is what you get. Disintegrate. When disintegrate with your head, you disintegrate. Wicked Babylon, disintegrate. I invaded V4, miss a piece of cake. Piece of cake means this is sweet. You gon' be bitter. Try to be friends for peace. After I sold you when you told me how to cook your meat. Next is some mouthful of raw beef. Castrated, doing the same thing you did to me. I'm making you knock like when you lose your keys. What's your name, boy? You trying to speak? My brother, I am dead. The side he saw, where he used to be. A Caucasus Mountain, family tree. He trying to make me fall. Smooth talk. The only time I backslide is when in the kingdom, no escape. Break the law. I'm hitting up the fifth with no Isaiah 4. You sodomite kids, you try to explain the choir. Not even transparent's gon' make it clear. Me a go call me plantation damnation. Cause I straight pay back on this damnation. Musa declare the end from creation. In a the God of vision, me put me salvation. I had dreams of pushing the Maybach. Big money, Cuban links and make stacks. I'm finding out my history from slavery and way back. So it's only right I give you the whips and chains back. No bail for a fugitive, word is born. It's 2020, so it's clear to see the vagabond. Who's the real Jews? It's a face-off. Iconoclasm, take his face off. I ain't talking clothing line, but this right here, the true religion. Came from the chosen line, my mind is focused on a mission. I ain't never make a dime off the plantation field, but still generating profits in my Levi jeans. You gave me mad labor, I just do it like night. One, I like all Adidas, I got scars from the strike. You gotta pay with your life, I ain't showing no pardon. I'm here to collect debt, and it ain't no bargain. Me a go call me plantation damnation. Cause I straight pay on this damnation. Musa declare the end from creation. In a the God of vision, salvation. Me a no hold for me too. They think it used on a chance. You too late. Head crop on the floor like a fool. We are the real Jews, fool who are the good. Cause when no time to feed them a go
glorified. Them think them come feet, full of pride. You're gonna eat your face, keep you alive. Try to kill himself because him food was on the suicide.
It's past 10:30. We in the fourth quarter. When it strike 12, time on your hands is getting shorter. Bruce Wayne can't save the day cause it's a dark night. No turning back the hands of time, I'm putting out your lights. We raising the bars like it's a workout. 5 G's in the street to push the work out. YouTube and Viacom trying to shut us out. What? Via communications send the hitters out. ADL been getting busy with the tricks. Fake Jews operate the mouth of the dragon. Thought you heard us, but that was a little nick. Many bodies getting hit when I fired this cannon. I leaped in a barrel, that was my longest jump. I came to pull cars, I'm ready to dump. I am honored a victory over bodies slumped. Somebody tell Donald that I'm the real Trump.
Me a go call me plantation damnation, cause I straight behave upon this damnation. Most I declare the end from creation. In a dig of the vision, me put me salvation.
Tired of this oppression, man.
Tell him, man.
Man, they could be working all day.
Man, these suckers, they gonna get every little bit of ounce of evil they did to us and then some.
You know what I'm saying? We're gonna have no breaks, no lunches,
No holiday pay. You know what I'm saying?
no vacations. Work all day.
The first thing we're gonna have to do is get out here and wake our people up. Once our people woke, revenge, retaliation, and get back. AKA the payback.
Yo, Edomites, Ishmaelites, Ammonites, Moabites, when Christ return, you're getting smashed by the Israelites, Hamites, and any other ites that really thought it was a height to try to murder the apple of God's sight. Strong in the Lord and the power of his might. A twinkle of an eye, we change, now let's fight. And that's right, we waiting on that immortal flesh. You bastards from Asgard gon' be a bloody mess. Look up in the sky, not a bird, not a plane. It's the chariots of God's elect coming for pain. Who is that coming from evil with blood stains? Afro, glorious garment, he must reign. Don't get the stuttering now, go get the chains. Battle axe attack, bone crushing in brains. Yes, Christ is black, he just going insane. And he mad as hell, yes, that means flames. 8-8, Nehemiah explain. A whole bunch of screaming and dying to make it plain. And he holding his reins, sit next to the king. Break 'em with a rod of iron until they train. Payback.
Oh, that's right, y'all. The payback. Oh yeah, Ephraim, you know who's coming for you. You know who's coming for you. Hey, listen, the payback. Yeah, we ain't forgot about y'all little nations too. I'm not gonna get y'all too. I said the payback.
Remember when we hung our harps upon the willows? Time to go and get them. Revenge, go set the tempo. Dance to the tune of our ops being consumed in this house. When they consume, then they rot. And interviews in them pages filled with the blood of the slain. Who helped the chosen as slaves? Who set our babies at the gates of Lex with gators, oppressors with the grievous. Thought upon their beds, all the evil very tedious. I'm talking devious. Tell us how you vision us on your television, but your mission gon' be missing when Christ comes to dismiss it. Jim Crow to black codes, policies of redlining, politics of eugenics, school to prison pipelines. Hell of a list, but check the twist, yeah. Revelations 18:6. We gon' double that. Pray to see the day when we can say we gotta get back. Tit for tat, and enemies ain't gon' get no get back. Revenge a must, and it's a righteous thing with God to recompense them who trouble us and that we trust. Hold up, we ain't done yet. I ain't seen the sunset. Joshua 10:13 that we smashing. Sliding in our kingdom, ain't giving no passes. The payback.
That's right, y'all. Listen, the payback. Oh yeah, Ephraim, you know what's coming for you. You know what's coming for you. Listen, the payback.
Yeah.
Dog. Let me out.
We even got y'all know the nations too, and I'm gonna get y'all too. I said the payback.
It's payback for the heroin and the crack, abortion clinics and stealing the stem cells from the sack. I'm looking for the Schaefers, anybody see where they at? By the tree whipping little Jody, let's punish them for that. In the tea with his seed from the Genesis way back, kicking hands off the serpents like off the beach, you missed that. I'm saying we supersonic like Sega reliving acts. The scriptures say they the stubble, we burning them in the ash. Jeremiah 14:2, the real Jews black, that's Christ's face on the gold. We burnt up all the cash, prepare to slaughter the ones that escaped the nuclear blast. Going chase to the cage while the hunters hunting your ass. Salvation is of the Jews, last first last. It's harsh while it's sin, 100-fold coming back. I own you, I'm an honest man for your disrespect. A lot of iron to rule you, put this noose around your neck. It smell like special fluid to the fire, call them flex. Check a trunk full of bodies to chef around family check. In Grace, Moab, and Am, I think you gotta weigh you next. Right after we break the necks of them dogs called Amalek. Payback.
Payback. Oh, that's right, y'all. Listen, the payback. Oh yeah, Ephraim, you know what's coming for you. You know what's coming for you. Listen, the payback. We even got y'all know the nations too, and I'm gonna get y'all too. I said the payback.
We used to scream black power while Ephraim was pushed. But at the end of the day, nothing's in vain. IUIC has been given a vision. The tents of Judah has risen. Many has attempted the mission. Minor murmuring, omitting, and missing the mark. Just reading that he had the flame of fire in his eyes gave us the spark. We on Paul's mission. We out on the road, purple and gold, from Mexico, Cuba, Haiti, Ghana, Sierra Leone. 144,000 boots banging, concrete crackling. These are our men repented at heart. The scriptures is proof. IUIC, we deliver the truth.
right, we're back. Hope you are still with us. Hope you're still with us. Bringing this stuff out, dropping this information out here. Some of it went over your head. Hopefully it didn't go over your heads. Hopefully you guys had time to let your minds come down for the information that's coming out. So, where we at? We are at page, 117? Where we at, Chess?
Oh, we're reading the excerpts from Lord's Kingsborough.
Right, so let's go to images. I got some information I want to share with y'all real quick. Also, in the Kingsborough book, it mentions how the natives went to the Antilles. That would be the islands like Puerto Rico, Haiti, Jamaica. That's the Antilles and further down. All right? Left that part out. And also, what else I want to go to? You got what I want? The images with,
Yes, sir.
not those. I don't want mine. I want the ones that Myron sent y'all. You sent them to them, right? The ones that he sent y'all. I want those first. Real quick. Regarding the Incas, Mayans, this stuff I didn't have. But brother Myron shared it real quick. I want that.
Yeah, it's real. This is some heavy information that is being dropped. Like we said earlier, you're not gonna learn this nowhere else, man.
Right.
You're not gonna get this information nowhere else. All right, so just take your notes and just prepare your minds for this information that's coming out.
Right.
You know, all praise to the Deke for bringing it out.
May go over some of y'all heads, but like the bishop says, if you get it, you get it. If you don't, you don't. So this build is for a second. We're gonna bring it out. Yeah, I'll go through all of that to get the pictures. What's going on? And codes and passwords. What the hell is this? Damn, from there, from Telegram? Good, just sent to Jazz and just sent it over to you.
Yeah, you could.
Oh, boy. Damn.
Then they said your books. The mic is on?
Yeah, you good.
They said a deacon's books is protected by Viper.
Apparently so. So, just while they're doing that, this information is very important. I know it's a lot for some of you. Some of you are like, yo, I'm still learning the basics, and that's fine. Consider this to be, you know, you have class, you have a beginner's class, and you have is it intermediate, and you have expert. This is somewhat expert classes in terms of history. So if you're not ready for it, then, just, learn the basics first, and then, lead up to this stuff, because this information, it ties to the Bible. It does tie into the basic history in terms of Solomon and his travels and things of that nature, but it can get a little heavy sometime, and it may go over some of your heads or whatever regarding the civilizations and the names and things of that nature. But I'm only going over this because I'm elaborating on because we read 2nd Ezra 13, and we read one verse and think that, it just stops there. Sometimes one verse goes into hundreds of years. Like it says, a new kingdom rose over Egypt in Exodus. That wasn't like a day later. That was centuries later.
Right.
So sometimes one verse can reflect a damn near number of years. The Bible documents time in a different way. You gotta know the history. That's why I'm going over this stuff. So hopefully those of you who are who love history as much as I do, take heed and you gather the information that's being provided. You got it?
Yep, which also has been a missing link in our culture, Deke.
Right.
Our history is not going to be told to us by any other nation. You know what I mean? So it's a missing link. You people that don't understand it, just save these classes. Save these classes, go over it on your own time. Yep.
Right. So I want to show y'all real quick a image, because we IUIC, we're the true scholars. We're the ones that gather information, and we provide information. So this is Captain Joel at the Library of Congress, correct?
Yeah.
At the because we don't sit around and base our information off emotions. Native Americans are heathens. If you're gonna say that they're heathens, you have to provide evidence of such nonsense. You gotta substantiate. You can't just say they're heathens because of how they look. That doesn't make sense. Israel intermingled themselves among all nations. They're gonna look like different nations. They're not gonna all look like black people or Negro. We are Native Americans on the walls of Egypt. What are you retarded or something? When in slavery, you had people called passers. Know what a passer is? That's the Negro that passes for white. Are there pastors on the walls of Egypt? Are there pastors on the walls of Egypt? That's why you can't entertain Negroes. They don't research anything. They just talk. And they feel that they say it with anger and curse and with a passion. Yeah, they're not Israelites. Yeah. That's going to make it true. Nigga, you don't care what you think is true. You got to substantiate your facts. You can't say barren straight, because if you say that, I'm going to destroy you. I'm going to tell y'all straight up. Anyone says Native American something to barren straight, I will thoroughly embarrass you and put your name on YouTube so everyone knows it's you. You got the picture here?
Hey, D.
Yeah.
There's a little story. You gotta tell that story, Cap, concerning that image of Captain researching. He was being eyeballed, spied, watched by Esau.
Oh yeah, listen, some of these books that Esau has, you can't just go into a normal library and just read it off of the shelf. No, these are highly protected books.
Right.
I mean, when I went to the Library of Congress, I had to make a special appointment. Earlier that day or the day before just to see that. But the day before, I had to make an appointment just to see that book. I had to write down my name, my address, I had to take my license, everything.
Right.
So I'm like, damn, what's going on? You
Right.
got gold sprinkles in that book or something?
Right. And what book is this, by the way?
It's Lord Kingsborough.
This is Lord Kingsborough.
Antiquities of Mexico.
Right. This is the book that we reading excerpts from in the Library of Congress. See how big it is? Book is massive.
I got a lot of the pages too.
Right. So we do our research. We do our research. We travel. We went to D.C. to the Library of Congress and got this book from there. All right. So you Negroes sitting at a freaking dinner table or in a car driving. Yeah, these guys are saying Native Americans are Israelites. You going off, Ak. You going off in the name of Yahweh Hashem. Man, be quiet, man.
Yeah.
Do your damn research and then talk.
And the thing about that book also, that with that book, first and foremost, I couldn't touch it. And if I wanted to touch it, I'm not sure if you see like a...
Go back over to the image again.
Go back to the image.
Put the book back up.
Put it back up.
A picture.
Let me see.
The picture again. Everybody can see what we see? 'Cause I'm seeing Captain Jarrell here.
It's a little delay.
All right, cool. Oh, I got you.
I wasn't allowed to touch the book with my fingers. They say if you touch it, they say because it's so delicate and valuable that they don't want any oils to get on the pages. So I had to turn it with a special turner with the book. And the book was huge, at least 3 feet tall.
Wow.
Yeah.
Right. This is Lord Kingsborough's compilation of information that he provided and went into debt. I think he died in debt, compiling this information together from different explorers, whether French, British, English, Spanish, whatever, that all agreed that these were Israelites on this side of the world. And this is prior. And these accounts that he compiled, were prior, hundreds of years prior to Mormonism. Prior to. So you come with that, oh, you guys teach Mormonism. You don't know anything about what we teach. Because if you did, you wouldn't say such stupidity at your mouth. Yeah, Cat.
He went so in depth. He went in depth to the characteristics of the Mexicans and how they closely related to Israel. He went so in depth. He went to the scripture to show even parts where how we entered to the temple, how we're supposed to enter the temple, and how they were still doing those traditions on this side of the world. He actually went into the description of Christ on the side of Quetzalcoatl. What is it, Quetzalcoatl?
Yeah, Quetzalcoatl.
Oh, gosh.
Quetzalcoatl.
Wait, how many? You got different pronunciations.
Quetzalcoatl.
Quetzalcoatl, chimpanzee.
Oh, man.
Quetzalcoatl. He went into it, like I said, being pierced. How it's called pierced. Have the piercings through his arms,
and
the blood,
hands and
his feet, and the blood coming out. He went in depth into all that.
Right.
How we used to conduct ourselves on the Sabbath day. Actually, I'm gonna go through that, Dig. I'm gonna post it. I'm going to post the pages on our group.
Okay. All praises, because we do our research. You Negroes that's mad and passionate about your nonsense. You be passionate about what you don't know. We're passionate about we're passionate about what we do know. You're passionate about what you don't know. Let's see who wins. This is a depiction of the natives. What is this, Mayan, right? Mayans? This is the picture of them celebrating the war. They won a war, I believe, right? Against each other, obviously. And let's see how dark they are. Let's load up some. Zoom in some more. Look how dark they are. See that? All right.
Wow.
So you see how dark they are here. Look at the nose and lips. All right. So they weren't all so-called mongoloid looking. They all had varied features. And those same varying features were found in all parts of the Americas. It was common. Go to the next image now. This is good stuff. Go to the next image.
So, Deacon, these are
Mayans
paintings that's inside the
temples. This is Bama. Let's say go up.
And dark too.
Very
It's
dark.
dark as hell. Go up. This is in their temples.
Just like we did back over in
In Egypt, right? Go up some to what this image. It says Banapunk, Mexico, Central America, ancient Mayan art, Mayan murals in room 3 of the Temple of Murals, celebration of victory in battle.
If you look at it also, and we do a comparison between us today and us back then, we painted our murals on
Catacombs,
on the
underground.
catacombs,
Right.
on ancient Egyptian tombs and temples. Look at today, how we paint our murals on buildings.
Yeah.
We was walking
Oh,
to Newark. You
same
remember? Yeah,
thing.
the same. We do the
Right,
same thing today.
right.
We post our murals on buildings, on the street, on the sidewalk,
Right.
on the buildings, all over the place. We do graffiti.
Graffiti is called, right?
Yeah,
Graffiti. Right.
that's us.
We all
do the
gotta
same thing. We always been doing that.
We always got to leave our mark somewhere.
right.
We was here.
Yup.
Bombs are kind of weak.
Always. Come on. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go back. Next image.
Yeah, you got to give him some volume. You got the right man on the job. Give him some volume.
Right. Go to the next image. Next one that Myron sent. Should be another one.
Deke, I think it was only 2 images.
No, I want Atahualpa. I want that one. You sent that one too? That's all right. Send it to me anyway. Send it to me anyway.
Oh, pray. Myron do some research. Northern Kingdom stepping up.
Yo,
All
Northern
praises.
Kingdom,
Send me
man.
out
That's
to
my
Walk.
brother
About
over there,
time.
man.
We're
Now,
gonna start pressing you guys more to step up.
Atahualpa was I believe he was an Inca chief, and he was the one that was burnt at the stake for not accepting Christianity. I believe he asked the white man. He says, "When you die, where do you go?" They said, "Oh, we go to heaven." He said, "Where will I go if I don't accept the doctrine?" They said, "Hell." He said, "Okay, I'd rather go to hell because you won't be there. If I'm gonna die, I'd rather go to hell where you won't be, rather go to heaven where you will be." Before they burn him at the stake, there's a picture of him being burned. If you look at his garment, he's wearing ribbon of blue and fringes on it. If you can type that out as well, find it as well. Is Atahualpa burned at the stake? Find that image as well. Atahualpa burned at the stake. Find that image as well. I'm gonna show you his actual picture, his actual features. I'm gonna show you his depiction of being burned at the stake. It shows him. He's tied to a cross. He's tied to a stake, I believe, and he has his garment on, and they're holding a cross in front of his face.
Brothers, y'all can go on the
Images.
on Google on images and find Atahualpa
Images. Come on.
being burned at the stake.
Lord, click that one. No, not that one. That one's whack. Go to the color one. Right there. Yep, that one. That's the one. Yes. Let me see if it shows the fringes. Bring it down. Bring it up. Nope, that's not the one I want. That shows fringes. Go to another one.
I have it.
You have it? Thank you, Jess. If one, it shows the actual. That's him right here. See his image here? Atahualpa's image, his real image. No, not that one. Not that one. Is that the one? No, right here. The one with the thing with his the color one. No, to the right there. That one. Show that one first.
And I just sent one too, if that's not it.
Okay, that's him right there. Hold up. See how dark he is right there? That's pretty. That's all right. Atahualpa. See it says on top? Atahualpa. That's him right there. Now, go out of that. That's his portrait of him sitting in his throne. Go to the image that Jess sent now. That's the one. Blow it up. That's the one I want. Yep. Zoom that all the way in.
Look at that royalty.
Zoom it in. Zoom all the way into that image. Look at him right there, burn. Look right there. Boom. Move it over. Look at that. The blue on the top and the fringes right there hanging down.
Damn.
Cut him.
Fringes.
Look at that.
And he's got chains. See a chain to his hand? The chain's hanging. Bring it out so we can see it, the whole thing, the whole depiction.
Ribbon of blue with fringes.
Zoom
Ribbon of
out,
blue and
zoom out.
fringes, and that's all right there.
Wow.
See? Where will you go if you die? Oh, we go to heaven. So I'm going to hell then. I'll take hell then. I'll take hell for 300. That's the I got a lifeline. I don't want that. I'm good. So that's him right there in chains. So get the picture now of him in the actual cave. There's a picture of it's like a wall of emperors drawn on the walls in a temple. And it shows two of them. It shows a Holy Roman Emperor, which are black Israelites in Rome, ruling over Rome. I believe he's Holy Roman Emperor. I believe he was Holy Roman Emperor. Charles V. I believe he was the Holy Roman Emperor. Not Rome. Let me see. I could be wrong. Let me see. Charles V. Yep, Holy Roman Emperor. 1519. Right. 1519. Lord of Netherlands. Duke of Burgundy. His spouse was Isabella of Portugal. Charles V. Holy Roman Emperor. King of Spain. Now, what he was, I don't know. He's white here. They have him white right here. Holy Roman Emperor, let me see. An Archduke, 1500s. An Archduke of Austria from 1519. King of Spain, Castile and Aragon from 1516. King of Germany. You sent it? You have it? Walter Whopper? Not that one. Come on, y'all. Come on. Wasting my time. If not, let's move on. I think that's enough, because it's taking too long. Forget it. Let's go to what I want. Go to that page. What book we at, Jess?
We still in the excerpt from King's Lordsboro.
Lordsboro. Let's go there. Where we at?
Kingsborough, I'm sorry.
That was the last. I think that was the last one. That was the last one I wanted.
Right.
Let me see it. Yeah, that was all I wanted. So now let's go to page 117 of sketches. It's all right. It's no big deal. I already showed enough Atahualpa. No, I know what I want. Give me the images of the figurine I sent y'all. The figurine that I own of a Sioux Indian woman. All right, real quick. I have the time to do it too. Of the Sioux Indian woman. I want all her images. If you can do us like if you do like a slide be a single, that's all exactly I want. Okay, that's all right. This is my. I bought this way back from a figurine shop in the Bronx. When I was working at a hospital. And I bought this. She's a figurine of a Sioux Indian. There's a woman, a sister here, and she has a daughter to her left. Now blow up the bottom. Go to the bottom if you can. Go down. See her jacket's fringed up. Look at her jacket. Go up to her jacket. Yeah. Ribbon of blue is fringed up, right? Feathers on her spear because she's hunting.
That's bad.
She got a purse hanging right there. A purse hanging. Go down. Watch this. Look what she got on her dress. She got bells hanging on her dress. Ribbon of blue with gems in it and fringes in the bottom. Now, why does the Sioux Indian woman have bells? A Sioux Indian, North American Indian woman have bells hanging from her dress. Now, of course, that wasn't customary for them to have, women to have it. The men had the bells. But we'll get to that. Go to the next image. The reason why I'm going here. That's her shoes. They go fringes again. The dress is just past her knees. She's wearing leggings underneath. She has leggings underneath. Go to the next one. Look at her daughter's fringes. Her little daughter got jacket, bells on her jacket, hanging in the back. She got baby hanging on her back like we do all the time. Go to the next one. She says, see the image right there, Sioux Indian? Sioux Indian. That's a card hanging from there. Sioux Indian. Go to the next one. That's her daughter right there, dark like her. Her hair's braided. Go there. She's brown too. Go to the next one. Go to the next one. See her little doll? See her little doll? She got her doll's her color. Go back. Go to the other one. The other one shows closer. Next image. Blow it up. Look at her doll.
Still look royalty, man.
It look nice. Look at her doll's black like her. She ain't a little white doll in her hand. She got her own doll looking like her in her hand.
Blow up the image, bro.
Blow up. It's gonna take a while. It's delayed on that screen.
Okay.
See, her doll look like her. Wow. Go to the next one. See the baby hanging?
Look at the little baby.
Look at the baby in the back.
Dark.
Baby dark too. Sioux Indian. See that? You'll just wait for y'all to see it. All right, little baby hanging from the back, and she got fringes in the back of her dress going all the way around. Her jacket got fringes all around.
Hey, Deacon, a lot of these black-only Israelites going to get put to death in the wilderness.
Yeah, they're going to die.
Christ's going to purposely bring them up just to put them to death in front of everybody. You see these people over here? I'm going to have them put your ass to death.
Yep. Your heathens kill you in the wilderness. Your heathens.
It's only right.
Go to page 117 now. Keep that in mind, Sheik, that the Sioux Indian woman had bells on the bottom of her dress with fringes and ribbon of blue. Why does she have bells for? We'll get to that later. This North American Indian woman has bells for some odd reason. Page 117. Hopefully we'll get there. Page 117. We're going to start at the hero. Or did we read that already? I don't even remember anymore. Page 117. Yeah, sketches. The hero right here. The first name. No, it was just the hero. Right there, the hero. Come on. Oh, that was a delay. I forgot.
The hero of General Lew Wallace's fair god in Newark history goes by the name of
Quetzalcoatl.
Among the Quiches. His name was Gucamots.
The Quiches were the Mayans. Go ahead.
And among the Mayas, Kukulkan, which singularly enough means the same in each language, namely plumed serpent.
Remember, Kukulkan is a god you find in the movie Apocalypto. They worshipped him, but they worshipped him in wickedness. Kukulkan. Okay? Go ahead. Or feathered or plumed serpent, they called him. Like the brass serpent Moses held up, representing Christ again. Go ahead. After the what? Watch this.
The first named was no tribal hero, but belonged to the entire Newark race. And some believe that he was called feathered or plumed serpent.
Why?
After the brazen serpent, which Moses lifted up in the wilderness.
That's it.
Yeah, y'all on point over there now. How you on point?
No, not y'all.
Judah over there.
Judah on point.
Oh, praise.
Man,
Thank
here we
you.
go with
Thank
that.
you, sir. Here we go. Thank you,
All
sir.
praises, man.
And Judah is God known.
So you see that? So they called him the plumed serpent, Quetzalcoatl, based upon the same serpent that Moses lifted up in the wilderness. Give me John 3 and 14, please. Real quick. Get some scripts in there. I don't want to just do all books all day. John 3, and we're going to get Wisdom of Solomon also saying the same thing.
The book of John, chapter 3, verse 14.
John 3:14, which you Christians never read, hardly ever. You just read 16, that's it. 14 first.
And as Moses lifted up the serpent in the wilderness, even so must the Son of Man be lifted up.
So even as Moses lifted the serpent up in the wilderness, the same way for the same people must Christ also be lifted up. Same thing. This is Wisdom of Solomon 16. And I want verse 5 to 7.
Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 16, verse 5. For when the horrible fierceness of beasts came upon these.
These is us, Israelites. Go ahead.
And they perish with the stings of crooked serpents.
Fiery serpents. Go ahead. Numbers 12, right? Numbers
21.
Numbers 21 and 6. Yes, go ahead.
Thy wrath endured not forever, but they were troubled for a small season.
Right, it didn't last too long, the bites. Go ahead.
That they might be admonished.
We might be warned or checked for our wickedness. Go ahead.
Having a sign of salvation.
Having a what?
A sign of salvation.
Having a sign of salvation. Go ahead.
To put them in remembrance of the commandments of the law.
So the serpent was a sign of salvation to put us in remembrance of keeping God's laws. Watch this. 7.
For he that turned himself toward it was not saved by the thing that he saw, but by thee, that art the Savior of all.
See that? But by thee, thou art the Savior of all. Go to, hold on. That's all I wanted. So it says, but he that turned himself toward it, what was the it? The brazen serpent, the brass serpent. Okay? Was not saved by the thing that he saw, that serpent itself, but by the Lord himself. That art the Savior of all. All right? That's all I wanted.
Do you know what's heavy about that too, D?
Yeah.
Because when you look at it, Esau takes that same image as to represent their medicine,
But
their
healing.
physician,
On
right?
the side of the ambulance.
All right. And now Sirach tells you, yeah, honor the physician, but it's the Lord that gives them that power.
Right.
So that whole imagery came from us. It came from our Lord, our Savior.
Yep. Exactly.
We make their whole existence. All praises.
All praises, yep. Let's go back to these books now. Go back to the books again. Where are we at? We were at, we're going to continue reading from where we left off. Representations of the lifting up. Watch this. No, go back to the last point, where the bomb dropped, where the first named. The first named was what?
The first named, go up. The first named was no tribal hero.
Go up some. The first name was who? Go up again. So a point isn't lost. Was Quetzalcoatl. Go ahead. Go that down. Go back down.
The first named was no tribal hero, but belonged to the entire Newark race.
He belonged to the entire Newark race. Go ahead.
And some
he wasn't just some regular guy. He was belonged to the entire race. Go ahead.
And some believe that he was called feathered or plumed serpent, after the brazen serpent which Moses lifted up in the wilderness.
Because he represented Christ. John 3:14. Go ahead.
Representations of the lifting up of serpents frequently occur in Mexican paintings.
Or Mexican hieroglyphics. That's what Kingsborough's book was about. Mexican paintings, depictions. Go ahead.
Not only so, but the plagues which Moses called down upon the Egyptians by lifting up his rod, which became a serpent.
Right, his rod. Go ahead.
Are referred to in some of the pictures found in
Moses' rod turning into a serpent is also found in pictures of what? In the what?
Found in the...
Go back. What's the word before that? 1 second. Found in the Borgian.
Found in the Borgian manuscripts.
Borgian goes back to the Issachar of the Aztec writings, the ancient writings. Borgian manuscripts. Go ahead. That the Spaniards collected. Go ahead.
Found in the Borgian's manuscript.
The name Quetzalcoatl.
The name Quetzalcoatl seems to have been applied to the leader or culture hero of the people during hundreds of years of Nua. At least two different personages bore that name.
At least two different personages bore that name Quetzalcoatl. Go ahead.
About the time that the Olmecs were in the height of their power, a man named Quetzalcoatl appeared in the country.
So here we go again. This man named Quetzalcoatl appeared in the country during the time of the Olmecs. He appeared to them first. The Olmecs goes back to the ancestors of the Mayans and so forth. Go ahead.
About the time that the Olmecs were in the height of their power, a man named Quetzalcoatl appeared in the country.
Watch this.
A venerable, just, and holy man.
A venerable, just, and holy man. Go ahead.
Who taught by precept and example the paths of virtue in all the Newark cities.
I've read this before. Another book. Go ahead.
Garcia Torquemada, Sahagan, and other Spanish writers firmly believe him to be identical with St. Thomas.
Right. So the Spaniards believe that there was two Quetzalcoatls. One, the Lord himself, and his disciple came along with him. That's the Spaniards. The Spaniards believe that St. Thomas came over here, and the natives are saying that Christ came over here. So there's two different accounts. Go ahead.
One of the apostles, and repeatedly mention him as the first man to preach the gospel in all America.
That's what they say. Go ahead. That's what they say. Go ahead.
We cannot see why this tradition is any less groundless than the one which takes St. Thomas to East India.
Because Thomas did go to East India. Thomas he established a school there. Go ahead.
As published in our own encyclopedias.
As published in our own encyclopedias. So it's not far-fetched if we went and taught in India and also taught to this side of the world. It would be surprising. Go ahead. Wait. We want to stop at I want to stop at cities. We went too far. Go up. You went too far.
Yes, sir. Yeah, we read it already.
All right, I saw one. It's stop right up there. All right. Let's go to I didn't even want to read that, but it's all right. Go to page 119. After. We're gonna stop at Anuak. Anuak. We're gonna start at after and stop at Anuak. Page 119. After, I know it's the right page. After.
Go up so we can see the page. See if that's the right page. Yes. Yes, sir. That's the right page, D.
Go ahead.
All right. Where you want me to start at?
After. I'm trying to find after. Right there, after, thank you. After Quetzalcoatlus. We're going to stop at Anahuac.
All right. After, move the cursor so I can see. Put the cursor on it. After Quetzalcoatl's mysterious disappearance, nothing more is known of Olmec and Xicalaca history till the establishment of the Toltec Empire.
So after Quetzalcoatl bounced, nothing is more known of the Olmec or Chilancas because the Olmec and Chilanca histories talk about him coming over here. They talked about him arriving and teaching them precepts and understanding first. Then later on, the Toltecs talk about him also. Go ahead.
When they are still in possession of Puebla and Chalaca.
Go ahead.
The Teutonics were also pre-Toltec in history.
So the Teutonics came before the Toltecs. Go ahead.
They migrated from the Valley of Mexico and claimed to have built the pyramids of Teotihuacan, a great religious center in primitive times, of which we still speak later.
A great religious center in ancient times, of which we will speak about later. Go ahead.
The Otomis, another primitive race.
The Otomis. Remember the Otomis were the blacks about 2 weeks ago. They were black. So they were Negro or black features.
Right.
The Otomis. Remember that? Watch part 3 for that. The Otomis. Go ahead.
The
Quanams, Otomis, they were the Negroid features. Go ahead.
The Otomis, another primitive race.
Another ancient civilization around the Olmecs. Go ahead.
The foreign language from all Nuit nations, though with a slight affinity with the Teutonics.
It's all the same people, the different dialects. Same people. Go ahead.
And have always been to a certain extent an outcast and oppressed race. The Jews of Anahuac.
The Jews of Anahuac. Go ahead.
Trodden down in succession by Toltec, Chichimex, and Aztec.
So the Toltecs were conquered, were overthrown by their own, but they were called the Jews. They were always conquered. I guess they were the lower caste of our people on this side. Trodden down in succession by Toltec, Chichimex, and Aztec. Go ahead.
When the Toltec Empire was established, they possessed much territory of the Anahuac.
So prior to that, is that the Toltec Empire was established, they possessed much territory of the Anahuac. So let's go to page 202 again. Go back to page 202 of Nations, that book again, page 202. I don't know why I want that, but go back to it again. Let me see something. This is after and that conquest. You read it already? Let me see. After the time of and that conquest. You read that already?
I think, I'm thinking.
I jumped
we read
ahead.
that.
Go to the Hebrews, the yellow Hebrews. You know, V. You know what I want? Page 183. Now the 3 looks retarded, so I gotta look at it properly. It's 183. I sent that today, I think. Well, I sent that today, I believe. It's the yellow book. Yeah, that's 84, I believe. I want 83. I think I sent 83 today. Yeah, let me see that. That might be it. The 3 looks mad messed up. I can't tell what it is. That gotta be it. And it starts off with he adds. And we're gonna go into page 184, which you had up already. So go to 183. I think that's 183. Oh, that's it. That gotta be it. That thing looks crazy. And it starts off with he adds. This gotta be it. And then 184. You had 184 already before in the old folder. 184 is right there. You have it right here. Oh, I'm pointing to the screen. You can see it.
Yeah, I had 183.
Yeah, go to 183 first. Go to 183 first, which I sent to you. And then we'll go over to that page next. Thanks.
No, the 180.
83. You have it up there. You right there?
This right here?
That's it. Yeah, that's it right there. Let me see it. Says he adds. Yeah, that's it. Go to says he adds. Then go to 184 after that. So you can add that 183 up in there if you throw it in that folder also. You saved it in there already? Okay, 183. That's it. That's 183. All right. That's 108. 183. That's it. He adds. Start at he adds. It says he adds. It says the people, however, who traversed. He adds, and we'll end at page 184. Obtained relief. All right. He adds. Yep, that's it. This book is very, very, very good regarding the Americas and the Native Americans undeniably being Israelites throughout all the Americas. So we're going to start at he adds.
He adds, the people, however, who traversed Mexico, left behind them traces of cultivation and civilization.
So this book gives you a bit of a timeline of their rulerships, right? Right here, the Toltecs, or T-A-U or T-O-L, same thing. Go ahead.
The Toltes appeared first in the year 648. The Chichimecs in 1170. The Nuates in 1178.
8 years after.
The Akels and Aztecs in 1196.
It's all the same people. This descendants going down. Go ahead.
The Toltes introduced the cultivation of maize.
The
maize and cotton. They built cities, made roads, and constructed those great pyramids.
They don't sound savage to me.
Wow.
They don't sound ignorant to me, building roads and temples and cities and all that. Go ahead.
Which are yet admired.
And are still admired today. The ruins are admired today. Go ahead.
And of which the faces are very accurately laid out. They knew the use of hieroglyphical paintings.
Remember, that's what Kingsborough collected. He collected their hieroglyphics. Go ahead.
And could find metals and cut the hardest stones.
And they can found metals and they can cut the hardest stones. They were stone cutters, like in Book of Kings. Go ahead.
And they had a solar year more perfect than that of the Greeks and Romans.
Now, their sun calendar surpassed the Greeks and Romans calendar. Our calendar surpassed everybody else's. Go ahead.
The form of their government indicated that they were the descendants of a people who had experienced great vicissitudes in their social state.
So the form of their government indicated that they were descendants of a people who had experienced great vicissitudes. What's that word mean? Look that word up, please. Vicissitudes. Vicissitude.
And Deacon, if I may, going back to them cutting the hardest stones, that shows you the Olmec heads.
Yes.
They made.
Yes, cutting the stones, right? The Olmec heads, yes. The heads found, I think, along Brazil, and the ones found. Olmecs are found where again, Jess? The Olmec heads?
They're in Central America,
yeah,
so
Central America.
Veracruz.
Around Mexico.
Yes, sir.
Around Mexico, right. Vicissitude means what? A change of circumstances or fortune, typically one that is unwelcome or unpleasant. Change, alteration, transformation, metamorphosis. So a change of circumstances of fortune that goes bad. So pretty much a circumstance of change of circumstances of fortune that turn bad, unpleasant or unwelcome. So go back. So bad circumstances, basically. A fancy word for bad circumstances. A change of bad, from good to bad. So go back. The form of their government indicated that they were where's it at? Oh yeah, I forgot. It's a delay. I'm sorry.
The form of their government indicated that they were the descendants of a people who had experienced great vicissitudes in their social state.
Who went from good to bad situations in their social condition, social state. Go ahead.
But where, he adds, is the source of that cultivation?
Watch this.
Where's the country from which the Toltes and Mexicans issued?
Where they come from? Next page. The Toltes or Toltecs or Mexicans, same thing. Page 118, we're going to stop at Nuat cities. We're going to stop at 184, obtain relief. Continue from the top. We're going to stop where it says obtain relief. Go ahead.
No wonder these questions should arise in the highly philosophical mind of this arch investigator.
Go ahead.
Had he known the present theory of their having descended from ancient Israel.
Oh man. Thank you. No wonder these questions should arise. What questions? Where did the Toltecs and Mexicans come from? Read again.
No wonder these questions should arise in the highly philosophical mind of this arch investigator.
Go ahead.
Had he known the present theory of their having descended from ancient Israel.
So these questions wouldn't arise in your mind if you knew that these Toltecs or these people we read earlier, Chichimex, Olmecs, came from ancient Israel. Go ahead.
It seems as though his difficulties might at once have obtained relief.
You would attain relief in understanding these questions, these hard questions, if you knew they came from ancient Israel. You wouldn't be hard questions at all. You would obtain relief knowing where they come from, if you knew where they came from originally. Ancient Israel. We read that earlier. Tula was what? Jerusalem. Atlan was what? Canaan. Let's go to the next book. Diego Duran, I sent that also. There's page 8. Y'all can get this book. It's by Friar Diego. It's page 8. I sent it today. Diego de la, I think his name was Diego de Landa. He was a Spaniard explorer that came over here and he encountered the natives. You're right, that's it. This is page 8. Some old men of Yucatan. We're gonna read that whole thing. This whole some old men and that do not.
Yes,
End that government. End that. Let me see. No, end that Spain. Go ahead. Some old men.
Some old men of Yucatan.
Keep that name in mind. Yucatan's a very important name to remember. Yucatan. Go ahead.
That's good. Some old men of Yucatan say that they have heard from their ancestors.
So they heard from their forefathers, their ancestors, what?
That this country was peopled by a certain race.
Their own race. Go ahead.
Who came from the east.
From where?
The east.
By what way? Way of ships. Thank you. Way of ships. Go ahead.
Whom God delivered by opening for them 12 roads through the sea.
Boom. 12 roads through the sea. From the east. They were showed signs to get here through 12 roads to the sea. Watch this.
If this is true.
They were shown 12 roads to the sea. Came from the east. Go ahead.
All the inhabitants of the Indies.
All of the inhabitants of the Indies, all the Americas, go ahead.
Must be of Jewish descent.
Go ahead.
Because the Straits of Magellan.
Magellan, that'll be an area of Chile and Argentina, right in between there. Straits of Magellan, go ahead. Not Bering Straits. Straits of Magellan. That's in South America. Go ahead.
Having been passed.
They passed through there. Go ahead.
They must have spread over more than 2,000 leagues of territory, now governed by Spain.
Mexico.
The language of this country is all one.
They all speak the same language, different dialects. Go ahead.
A fact which aided greatly in his conversion.
To change them all to Christianity. Go ahead.
Although along the coast there are differences in words and accents.
Well, it's the same language. Go ahead.
Those living on the coast are thus more polished in their behavior and language. And the women cover their breasts, which those further inland do not.
Some were pagan, some were not. Some dressed fully. We showed them earlier. Fringes and so forth, fully covered. Some walked around with their things hanging out. They were nasty as hell, wicked. Nonetheless, if it's true, they came from Israel, the land of Israel. They must all be of Jewish descent who inhabit the Indies. What's the Indies? The Americas.
And Deacon, that goes back to 2 Ezra chapter 13, verse 43. When it said they had, God made 12 roads for them.
He showed signs for them. The Lord showed signs for them. Get that in Ezra. Get that. Let's get that.
Want me to start from the top or verse 43?
Verse 43.
2 Ezra chapter 13, verse 43. And they enter into the Euphrates by the narrow passages of the river. For the Most High then showed signs for them, and held still the flood till they were passed over.
He kept the waters calm so they were passed over.
For through that country there was a great way to go, namely of a year and a half. And the same region is called Osiris.
That's the Americas. Undeniable. It's not Africa. It's not Arabia. It's the Americas. New world, new land, another land. Now, let's go to, let's get the same book. We're going to get page 202. Same book, the same book here, page 202. We're going to start from no supposable. And we're going to end at bondage in Egypt. No supposable. Scroll down some. I don't even see no. Oh, there it goes on top. Damn. Go ahead.
No supposable origin assigned to the American natives could so well account for what we find of the Americans' high places as the supposition of their descent from ancient Israel.
There you go again. They built high places. Go ahead.
The events upon this supposition are most natural and characteristic.
Go ahead.
These American high places are striking resemblance of the Egyptian pyramids.
So they built things that were of striking resemblance to the Egyptian pyramids on this side of the world. Go ahead.
Consult those in the region of Mexico, as already stated from Mr. Humboldt, and it seems as though they must have been made by the same people with those of Egypt.
Oh my gosh, man. They were the same people that built the pyramids in Egypt, built them over here.
Damn.
That's what he's saying. Go ahead.
But the Egyptian pyramids were seen and well known by ancient Israel, and it has long been conjectured that they were built by their labors than their bondage in Egypt.
They were built by their labors during their bondage in Egypt. So we learned how to build the pyramids in our bondage in Egypt on this side of the world.
Let's get the Glenn Beck video.
I'm going to get that later.
Oh, okay.
I have that already listed. I already got that in the bottom.
Hey, you want me to read 1 Maccabees 13:28?
Yeah, get that. Yeah, I don't have that written at all. Get that.
First Maccabees chapter 13 verse 28.
Prove that Israelites built pyramids also.
Moreover.
Oh, you know what? I do have it. But you can read. You can read.
No, Deacon, no take backs.
Gotta read it, man. I do have it. You gotta read it.
That was me. No, sir.
I do have it. Go ahead and read it, man.
In your Bible.
No, I have it right here written. But go ahead, man. Go ahead.
First Maccabees chapter 13. I saw verse 26.
Yeah.
And all Israel made great lamentation for him, and bewailed him many days. Simon also built a monument upon the sepulchre of his father and his brethren, and raised it aloft to the sight, with hewn stone behind and before. Moreover, he set up 7 pyramids, one against another.
Seven pyramids, one against another. Go ahead.
For his father,
one for his father,
and for his mother, and for his brethren,
and 5. Go ahead.
And in these he made cunning devices, about the which he set great pillars. And upon the pillars he made all their armor for a perpetual memory, and by the armor ships carved, and that they might be seen of all that sail on the sea.
Right, so he put the pyramids in their water, and he carved ships in them so those who sail on the water would see those pyramids in honor of the Maccabees being buried there. And I'm pretty sure Esau found them as well and destroyed them, or robbed them, whatever the hell he did, and lied and covered them up with his demonic mind. Page 203. Same book. We're going to go read the Texcali. There's a place today called Texicali, I believe. I believe it's in the Americas. Texicali. It's page 203, the Texicali. It's page 203. Page 203. We're on 204. Page 203. That's 204 and 5. We'll get to that later, but 203 I want. Right there, yep, to the right. Move it over. Texicali. No, not that. It's T-E-X. C-A-L-I. It's somewhere there. Keep going. I ain't right for nothing. Or is it Teocali? Yeah, maybe it's Teocali. Let me see. Go down. No, go down. Where you at? No, not that. Go down to the bottom. It starts with Teocali.
So for those of you, like I said,
yeah, right here. It gotta be this. It gotta be that.
What do we have? Well, it's like I said, we have the Sabbath day classes, which, like I said, deals with our spiritual growth. We have the weekday classes. We have classes 7 days a week. Also, we have historical classes. So this is a school of learning. So you're going to get learning on every angle, just like you have universities. This is the history class, our history class. So just because we're not going through abundance amount of scriptures, this is the portion of history that they haven't taught us in the school system. So whereas you cannot receive this information in the school system, guess what? We're going to teach it in our history classes.
Right.
Deacon Athan is the professor.
That's right.
Deacon Athan is the professor.
Professor Athan.
Professor Athan, that's it. Professor Athan, that's the new name.
Y'all crazy, man.
On this show, Sunday through Friday. Well, no, Monday through Saturday is Deacon Athan. Sunday is Professor Athan. Classes in session.
Get the Teocalli all praises. Get the Teocalli or pyramid.
The Teocalli.
That's it. It's Teocalli, right? I wrote it really small. Teocalli. We're gonna end at page 204. Go ahead.
The Teocalli or pyramid of Cholula.
Remember that? The pyramid of Cholula they built. It was destroyed eventually. Go ahead.
Near Mexico.
Near Mexico. Go ahead.
Noted before from M. Humboldt. Is given on a place in the archaeology with its temple on its summit.
So there's a temple on the summit of that pyramid. Built in honor of who? Quetzalcoatl. Remember that? Go ahead.
And with its staircases of 120 steps.
120 steps leading to the temple up the pyramid.
Leading up its lofty stories. This huge, majestic pew was called the mountain made by hand of man.
Right, they built it brick by brick. They said hands, they passed it from brick by brick, from person to person, and built it by hand all the way up. Go ahead.
In the interior of various of these great pyramids were found considerable cavities for repositories of the.
Go over. Watch this. For repositories of the page 20 of the what? Of the repositories of the. It's coming up. Bear with us.
Of the dead.
Yep. So remember Maccabees. We read it earlier. They were built for the dead. It's a graveyard. Go ahead.
A square stone house was found in one of them, containing 2 skeletons.
See, just like the Maccabees. Skeletons found. Go ahead.
Some images are likenesses and many vessels curiously painted and varnished. This room was covered with bricks and strata of clay. Large bricks were laid. Each upper layer just juting over the one next below and strengthened by beams of cypress. The same manner of laying the bricks instead of an arc has been found, says the writer, in several Egyptian edifices.
Right, they got from Egypt how to build it. Go ahead.
In a similar cavity, he informs in the tomb of a Peruvian prince.
Of an Incan prince. Go ahead.
Macy gold was found to the value of more than 5 million of francs.
See how much money we had buried with us? We buried our gold with us, with our family members, in the time of.
In the time when the Spaniards invaded the Mexicans, the Cholula was by the natives deemed a holy city.
Because the temple was there. Go ahead.
Here existed a great number of priests.
Because the temple was there. Go ahead.
And no spot displayed greater magnificence in the celebration of public worship.
What else?
Or more austerity in his
penances
and fasts.
And fasts. So the temple was there. Go ahead. We're gonna stop at hold on. Sacred worship. Go ahead.
It is true that similar huge ancient piles have existed in some various regions of the East.
Like Israel. Go ahead.
But the writer of the archaeology says the pagodas of Indostan have nothing in common with the Mexican temples.
Go ahead.
Of the pyramids of Mexico, of Egypt, and of similar piles found in some parts of Asia, he says, their destination was altogether different.
So reasons for why the pyramids were built in Mexico, Egypt, and some in Asia were different. Go ahead.
He means in relation to those of Mexico having temples and altars and being sacred to worship.
Right.
This surely affords an argument in favor of the ideal that the occupants of those high places in Mexico originated from Israel.
Boom. Go ahead.
Where all their huge places were for sacred worship.
Where all their high places were for sacred worship. See that? So they came from ancient Israel. They built their temples and pyramids, unlike the Egyptians and the people of Asia, for high worship, like in Israel. That's where they were from. Now, let's go to Exodus. No, I don't want that. Exodus 1:11. That goes and does building pyramids in Egypt. That's obvious. Get Glenn back now. YouTube.
Deacon, when you have time, I have an image of inside the temple of what it looked like.
Of Cholula?
Just a regular pyramid.
General? Okay, post that first. While we're storing the thought of that, and get the Glenn back video as well. We're gonna start in the very beginning. We're gonna end at 8.
Is made up.
8 minutes. It's a lot to listen to. I don't want to miss nothing he says.
And listen, and when you do your normal classroom sessions with your children, for those of you that homeschool, this information should be infused in your lessons, your daily lessons for your children. Just like what? With the school curriculum, Esau has American history. You should have what? Our Bible history. So these classes should be stored up and like documented so your kids can study this as well. You know?
You got the images that Jess sent y'all?
So the next generation of teachers, so when they grow up, they can eloquently and easily deliver the information.
Wow, that's crazy. That's heavy. Blow that up, man. Blow that up. There's an idea, right, of how they're built?
Yes, sir. So this is a description of how the temple was built and what was actually inside of it.
Yeah, blow it up some. Wow, look at that. Look at the top. That's a tunnel?
Yes, sir. So that's where the treasure, what we just read about the treasure and with the gold, the 5 million francs, that was at the top. We stored the treasure at the top.
The temple on the top. So the pyramid, they built the pyramid initially. This is Cholula or no?
This is just a
regular pyramid.
Yes, sir.
Regular one. But a temple on top though.
You can blow that up.
You blow it up. You don't gotta see the bottom. You just see it. Just scroll down. Look at the tunnel on top. The tunnel. You see it on top as letter C.
Right, so it's like a key to the description of what you see in there.
Right. And then you have like the temple on top, the very top, the stairs leading up to it. This is a perfect example of Cholula, the temple being built on top of a holy place, a highly sacred and holy place. Okay.
Go down to the bottom.
See inside.
So that mask you see over there, that's what they put over the body, the face mask they placed over him.
Over the body in the tomb.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So as you go down, that's where the body was at. So you would go down those stairs right there, and they put the body all the way down there. So the treasure sat up top.
And the body on the bottom.
The body was on the bottom.
And the body was also buried with treasure as well.
Yes, sir.
The bodies. Okay. I believe we called it our necropolis. Ours was called our necropolis. Yes. Yeah. Necropolis. So let's go back. Thank you, Jess.
Yes, sir.
Let's go on to.
So all throughout South America, as Central America and North America, you have pyramids. You have temple mounds. Even in Puerto Rico, there's a pyramid found. So that shows you who's on the side of the world.
Yep. We're gonna watch this all the way to 8:39. It's a lot, but just bear with me. It's about I got this far. Let's get 8:39. Load up so we can hear it. Can't hear it. It's too low.
And 6 feet, 606 feet.
Now this is part 3. For some strange reason, I can't find part 1 and 2. Because when we read part 1 and 2, he shows you how the pyramid that's found in North America is the exact same measurement and built exactly the same way as the ones in Egypt, Giza.
That's
all right?
it?
Huh?
That's on it?
This is part 3 of 1 and 2.
I might have it in my video.
Well, I haven't seen 1 and 2 at all. I can't. This is part 3. I've never seen 1 and 2 on YouTube at all. It's gone. I've been looking for it.
They haven't. Yeah, I think
they removed that.
Yeah.
Remember, they made this guy. They made Glenn Beck. He's a Mormon. They made him renege and go back and say that what he said in this video is false. Now how the Native Americans and Israelites said, listen, go back. And this show was gone. They canceled the show because of that. What he put out in this video, I think he canceled the show because of this. Okay? Press play.
Of 606 feet, 606 feet.
Same measurements.
6 feet, 606 feet. 606. It's made up of stades. Exactly the same. Now, if that's not interesting,
as the Pyramid of Giza in Egypt.
Look at the angle of the Great Pyramid of Giza.
Right.
If you take the angle of the Great Pyramid of Giza, the slope is 51.8 degrees. Let's go back to the earthworks. If you measure the line that goes straight through the center of the structure, right here, and then you go true north, it's 51.8 degrees. That angle is exactly the same angle as the pyramids of Giza.
That's
it.
it.
Is the same math.
Same math.
Same calculations as ancient Egyptians.
That's it.
Let me show you one more connection. In 1860, David Wyrick, he's a guy who surveyed the Newark earthworks. He was digging into a mound near those earthworks, and he found a wooden coffin made of oak. They opened up the coffin and found a skeleton of a man holding a little box that was about 8.10 inches in size.
Read this out. Read this in the class.
Cemented shut. Here. This, by the way, is sitting in Ohio.
I bought this out in class.
He opened up the box and he found a little man inside,
Mm-hmm.
a little black stone. They took it to scholars, and
They're saying it's mad low. They're saying people are saying it's low.
seems to be carrying something, and there's writing here. At first, they couldn't recognize. The writing is, they thought in 1860, some sort of Hebrew. Well, finally, about 20 years later, they found some rabbis living in the area, and the rabbis looked at that, and they could read it. They said it was an old kind of block Hebrew, and it was a rendition of the Ten Commandments.
Uh-huh.
Now, this is another piece.
Yo, is it turned up?
Block Hebrew. They said they'd never seen anything like it. Mainstream archaeologists at the time called this a hoax. But then in 1900, or just about after 1900, in Israel, they found the same block-style Hebrew writing.
Mm-hmm.
Mainstream archaeologists still dismissed the findings. They found it in Israel, and they found it in Ohio. But there was another stone that they found that they couldn't argue.
Mm-hmm.
This is the Bat Creek stone.
Mm-hmm.
It was found during the course of an official Smithsonian evacuation. The Smithsonian didn't understand the meaning of the writing on the stone. They thought it was Cherokee, since it came from Cherokee country. They didn't realize that it's actually Hebrew.
Mm-hmm.
They had published this originally upside down.
Mm-hmm.
They threw it in a box at the bottom of the Smithsonian, put it in the basement.
They knew what it was.
Many years later, a scholar took it out of the box, looked at it, and went, oh my gosh, it's upside down. It's Phoenician.
Pause. Pause. It's Phoenician. Ancient Hebrew. Found by the Cherokees. North American Indians. You understand? Do y'all understand what this guy is saying? That's what I said. Listen, cancel this dude's show. He talking too much. He said that they put it at the bottom of the Smithsonian and buried it because they knew what it was. And whenever Esau finds something he don't like, he goes, listen, it's a hoax. It may be, it's supposed, it's alleged.
Claim.
It's a claim. It's believed. They water it down. But he's telling you that this is ancient Hebrew writing, Phoenician, which were Hebrew, Israelites, not Hamites, Israelites.
That's right.
That were on this side of the world. Continue.
So what's going on here?
You tell me, what's happening?
Where is that history?
Where is it?
I'll show you in a few minutes, and we're going to have a conversation. I'm going to show you some more things that the Smithsonian, science, government, commerce colluded to erase.
See that? Pause.
By the way, I want to thank
the government, the Smithsonian, colluded to erase. They don't want the world to know the Native Americans on this side of the world are ancient Israelites. And they got a lot of ignorant, wicked Negroes in Israel who I believe are set up by Esau also to push the same narrative, that they're not Israelites, that the Native Americans are heathens and only blacks are Israelites, to keep the 12 tribes from uniting. We on to you too.
Hey, Deacon.
And some of y'all are just dumb niggas.
Hey,
some of
Deacon,
you are just dumb.
this is some of these black Negroes saying that there's black only Israelites. 2 Ezra 9 verse 22. Let the multitude perish then, which was born in vain. They have no purpose in this life.
Right.
They were just born in vain.
Right.
They just here, huh?
You
They was
belong.
born for the nuclear missiles. That's it.
You should have ended up on a blanket dried up somewhere.
Oh, shoot.
Never end up in a womb. Someone's back, in a sock.
Hey, where that sword at, man?
Someone's teeth, whatever.
Only
but not in the womb.
Onan should have been your father.
Yeah,
should have spilt you.
Spilt you somewhere.
And Dick,
No purpose in life but to run your mouth.
going back to what he says about they buried it.
The mic. Is Officer Mike on? I can't hear him through the headphones. Officer LaCroix, Mike.
You know?
Go ahead.
Yeah, like I was saying, like you said, they buried it on the bottom
Of the Smithsonian.
Mm-hmm. That goes back to the Deacon Yawasa Fetler's book, Puerto Rico, Flame of Resistance.
Yes.
Flame of Resistance.
They dig
The truth. They buried the truth. Right.
Right.
Yep.
Right there.
And that book is no longer hard. It's hard to get now. Now it's revised, and they're trying to be slick with it. Continue. Press play. Come on.
directors of the documentary Lost Civilizations of North America for bringing these stories to my attention. I was blown away. To find more, visit the website lostcivilizationdvd.com. Here's the thing we should be asking ourselves. I don't know the story of these. Do you know? Did you know that?
Yeah.
Do you live in Ohio and did you know that?
Yep.
No.
Well, our brothers do. They don't.
That's true.
Were the American Indians wronged? Yes. Yes. And that's what we focus on in America, is we were bad to the American Indians. Forget about it. It's in the past. The question should be the ones that the founders asked. Who are they? What knowledge do they have?
Pause. The founders is the founders of America. They were asking after they conquered them, who are these people? What are they doing here? And when they realized who we were, they said, oh, damn, we messed up. We
too late
conquered
now.
God's people. Oh, well,
Might as well
bury
keep
it.
continuing.
Might as well continue. We got the land. Let's bury this information. You understand? That's why this guy's show is gone.
Deacon, they banished this dude, right?
They
Not
banned.
only that,
He's
remember-
like no longer. He might have killed him. I don't know where he is now.
That's true. I haven't seen it for a while.
Yeah,
But
he
he,
might be
remember,
missing.
he
He might-
had
he
to
might-
recant all this information.
He had to recant it.
And he remember he redid the 12 tribes chart.
Yep.
And attributed to the British, the French,
Yep, the Caucasians.
or the Anglo-Saxon Israelite chart.
Yep.
Wow.
That's what he did. Go ahead.
We would have now if we would put our differences aside and put our past in the past and concentrate on today and say, let's learn from each other. What do you have? What is that? What is that? When we come back, I'm going to be joined by Peter Lilback, who is, I've told you before, is one of my favorite authors. He's going to talk to me a little bit about the founders here. And I'm also going to show you some documents that show how that history has been erased. Next. This is the Smithsonian Annual Report, 1882, 1883. This is John
Pause.
Wesley,
Pause. The best books are the old books. 1882, 1883. Those are the best books.
Yes, sir.
Those are the best. So we have them. We own books we own books older than that. It's in the Smithsonian report he's reading from. So don't tell you, oh, that book is outdated. No such thing. The best books are the most oldest ones, the ones you can't turn the pages on. I have books in my house, I turn the page, it falls out. It's old. Oh, that old book smell is the best smell I had. You're like, I shouldn't have this. I love it. Shouldn't have it, but I got it. We have it. Continue.
This is an original copy.
See, pause it.
John Wesley Howell.
It's an original copy.
Hey, Deke, man, they
That's
probably,
why we stress having the original copies. Go ahead, Jez.
Yo, Deke, they probably in the back like, yo, what is he doing right now? Because you know the prompt that he read from, he's like, yo, get that out the way. I got something I got to say.
I got something I got to get off my chest.
Yep. Go on,
He
continue.
might be Kingsborough in the spirit.
Yeah, he might be Kingsborough in the spirit.
Hey, if you want to donate, to our book club, just IYC.Philadelphia,
Yeah.
everynight.org.
Right.
Just put my name in the caption if you want to donate
What?
to me.
Put Cap name in the notes.
Yeah, press play. It's about to try to get booked.
In 1789. Again, this is Powell. This is the director of the Bureau of Ethnology at the Smithsonian Institute. He said this. Artifacts found prior to Christopher Columbus's arrival would be considered illegitimate by the Smithsonian. Only the savage Indian culture would be observed, and this created the artificial barrier to science.
Pause. So, any information regarding the Native Americans, before Columbus, he goes, we're not going to use that. We're going to deal with them being savages and being primitive and being base. We're going to deal with that and that alone. Anything prior to that, we don't want to deal with that. Because before that proves what? That they're the children of Israel. So we're not going to deal with that. We're going to leave that to the side. We're going to push the Bering Strait. We're going to push them being savages. We're going to push that. And dumb Negroes are going to believe that instead. Continue.
Science was colluding with government because of commerce, and religion was involved.
Pause. Why is that? Because when they came over here, what they do to Native Americans? They converted them away from their true heritage, like they did us. So the government, science and government work together to maintain what? Commerce. What's commerce? Slave business. That's slavery, business, and religion, which coincide with what? Slavery. Keep Negroes complacent, subservient, submissive, give them Christianity that will maintain business. But the scientists and scientists goes into what? The ethnologists. Ethnology goes into the science of races. So those two work with the government together to go make sure these guys' nationalities stay hidden. Keep that quiet. Don't let that go out there. Then once we get that out the way, we can push the business and push religion, which both work hand in hand to keep the keep our history secret. Continue.
Not because I'm an Indian expert or anything else. You got to do your own homework.
Yes, you do.
I just found out about this stuff. I'm amazed by it. I don't know what the answer is on this. The reason why I bring it up is the stock is not bad. The soup went bad, but the stock is not. Peter Lilback, Dr. Peter Lilback. How are you, sir?
Good to see you.
This is a book that needs to be owned by every American. Every single American should have this book in their home. It's called Sacred Fire. These are the words of George Washington, and it takes history absolutely apart. Not on somebody's opinion, but on their own words, on his words. Peter, I want to go to you and talk to you a little bit about, again, the stock. George Washington had a good relationship. Our founders had a good relationship with the Native Americans.
Pause. That is a lie. He was referred to as, they called him in the native tongue in English, the village destroyer, the town destroyer. He was a savage bastard.
Right.
And slave owner. That is a lie. That right there he just said is a lie. He was good. He was going good for 6 minutes and 23 seconds. But after that, that's some straight bull.
Destroyed 33
BS.
Native American Indian villages.
He was known as the village or town destroyer with his toothless ass, wooden teeth. The hell with him. Continue.
He have a wooden leg too?
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
It should have a
Yeah,
wooden
wooden
heart
something.
too. Continue.
No question about that. When they came to America, they realized they could not survive without a close relationship with the Indian people.
Right, porn. So they could not survive on this side of the world without the savages, right? Go ahead.
For example, is the Pilgrims who had blown off course. 800 miles out of their destination in Virginia, they're in Massachusetts. They land on ground, and they're in the middle of nowhere, no government. They make the Mayflower Compact, so they have government when they land. And there's no Native Americans there because a plague had gone through, but one person...
Yeah, Edomites, the plague.
A Native American that knew English. He'd actually been taken captive to England. He'd learned English.
Pause. Taken captive to England. So how'd he get to England? What? They flew him there in a rocket ship? He got there in a slave ship.
Right.
They took him to England in a slave ship, taught him English, and brought him back over. Took some to Spain.
Deuteronomy 28:68.
That's right. Deuteronomy 28:68. They fit that also. And then some will say, oh, well, the Native Americans weren't scattered in all four corners. Some of them, they still here. Well, guess what? So if you're going to use the base of Native Americans aren't being Israelites because they're still here and were colonized, what about the Israelites in Africa that's still there and they weren't brought in in slave ships? They were colonized over there. Are they not Israelites either?
Damn.
That means they're heathens too. They didn't go, they're still over there. They didn't put on ships. So they don't fit that scripture either. So are they heathens? Listen, stop playing with us, man.
You got an answer for that.
You keep arguing amongst yourselves. Come over here, we're going to destroy you. Continue.
Gotten his freedom. He came back, his people were gone. The white settlers are there all of a sudden, and he meets them and he says, welcome. He speaks English. They couldn't believe it. The providence of that moment is extraordinary.
Stop at 8:30. 8:39.
And there was a person there to help him, and he was a Native American.
Right.
And that creates Massachusetts.
All right, do I have time for one more?
That creates
No?
Massachusetts. Keep that in mind.
Come back and talk about, I want to talk about William Penn. Because
Right, William Penn, keep it in mind. William Penn.
When he was working with the Indians, that is critical to understand the truth, I think, about America.
Pause.
And we'll do
William Penn is the name from which the name Pennsylvania comes from. Named after him, William Penn. William Penn. Keep that in mind. Continue.
next.
We're gonna stop at 8:39.
The history that has been erased in our nation, and in particular with the Native Americans, happened because it didn't fit the story they created, Manifest Destiny. It only works when Indians were savages, and they had to have savages for commerce and government.
Slavery. Yep.
The ancient artifacts prove otherwise. Why aren't we looking into those? Peter Lilback is the president of Providence Forum and the author of George Washington's Sacred Fire. Okay, Peter. I think a great place for Americans to understand the truth about Americans and Native Americans and African Americans and all of it.
Was it?
African American, yep.
The truth about Native Americans and African Americans, all of it. Yep. Why would he mention them? Why would he mention Native Americans and African Americans in the same sentence of hidden history? Why? Because he knows we're the same people. They know that. You cannot have Native Americans and Negroes separate. History's tied together. It's impossible to deny that. Continue.
It comes from William Penn. Tell the story.
Great story. Philadelphia, the great founding city of the United States. That's where government began. It was founded by William Penn. He wanted a city without walls. And he determined that he would do it by making a constant commitment to justice and ethics with the Native Americans. There never was an Indian war with William Penn.
So William Penn was at peace with Native Americans. But you must ask yourself, why was he at peace with them? Why? I believe the Constitution was written in Philadelphia. I believe the Constitution was written there. Yes. All right? So let's get page 204. No, not 204. 205. 205, he disappeared. We're going to end at happiness on page 205. He disappeared right there at the bottom. The he, I believe, is referring to Quetzalcoatl again. Right, Cholulans, right? That's Quetzalcoatl. The Cholulans is those who built Cholula. Right, we'll start from there and we're going to end at happiness.
He disappeared after he had declared to the Cholulans that he would return and govern them again.
And what?
And renew their happiness.
Why? Because he knew before he returned, they were going to go through what? Great calamities. And when he returned, he would bring them, he would govern them again and renew their happiness. That's Hosea 1:10. Themselves one head. You remember that? Hosea 1, yeah, read that, please.
The book of Hosea, chapter 1, verse 10.
Mm-hmm.
Yet the number of the children of Israel shall be as the sand of the sea, which cannot be measured nor numbered. And it shall come to pass that in the place where it was said unto them, Ye are not my people, there it shall be said unto them, Ye are the sons of the living God.
Mm-hmm.
Then shall the children of Judah and the children of Israel be gathered together.
Gather together, go ahead.
And appoint themselves one head.
Appoint themselves, well, that means one governor, their leader, or chief shepherd, go ahead.
And they shall come up out of the land, for great shall be the day of Jezreel.
He shall govern them again and renew their happiness. Same thing. Now, let's get Genesis 49:13. Genesis 49:13. I hope I can get through this. I want to get through this quick. Genesis 49, verse 13.
The book of Genesis, chapter 49, verse 13. Zebulun shall dwell at the haven of the sea, and he shall be for a haven of ships.
Right, that's this side of the world. I was referring to this side of the world, not the other. Go ahead. Because remember, Asher was a haven of the sea. Zebulun wasn't a haven of the sea. Go ahead.
And his borders shall be unto Zidon.
And his borders shall be unto Zidon. Now, his borders shall be unto Zidon. Is that it?
Yes, sir.
Now, get me, Zidon goes back to Tyrus. The Sidonians, their city was called Tyrus, so Tyrus. Remember that numerous times earlier in the series? You had Old Tyre, the mainland. You had New Tyre, the island, or Zerah Island, right? So his border shall be unto Zidon, talking about Zebulun, right? It wasn't Zebulun, because Zebulun was, you had Asher had the shore. Their border was Zidon. Zebulun was in the middle. So what's that referring to? Let's get regarding Sidon. His border shall be unto Sidon or Tyrus. Get me what I sent you, the commentary, Ezekiel 20, give me Ezekiel 28, verse 2. Ezekiel 28, verse 2. Yeah. Ezekiel 28, verse 2. I want, hold on. Go down to, let me see, wait. Go down. Down. It should say Ellicott's commentary, go down. It should say Ellicott's commentary. Is that what I sent you? Yes. Go up. Wait, stop. Go up. Yes, this is it, right here. I am a God, right there. Ezekiel 28, verse 2. Hurry up, let's go.
Ezekiel chapter 28, verse 2.
Now, it's about Tyrus in verse 2 or 1?
Verse 2.
Verse 2, read that.
Son of man, say unto the prince of Tyrus.
Tyrus goes back to Zidon, or Sidonians. That's their city. Tyrus is their city. Tyre, Tyrus is the Sidonians. Sidon, Tyrus, same place. Go ahead.
Thus saith the Lord God, because thine heart is lifted up, and thou hast said, I am a God.
Tyrus has said, I am a God. Go ahead.
I sit in the seat of God, in the midst of the seas.
I sit in the midst of the seas. Go ahead.
Yet thou art a man.
The Lord says, yet you are a man. Go ahead.
And not God.
And you're not a God. Go ahead.
Though thou set thine heart as the heart of God.
Though you claim that you are God, but you say, but you're not. Now, read this here. You may say to yourself, well, no, let's read on. Read the whole thing. We're going to read the verse 12 real quick. Come on. Let me read the commentary afterwards and I end it there. Come on.
Behold, thou art wiser than Daniel. There is no secret that can hide from thee.
Mm-hmm.
With thy wisdom and with thy understanding, thou hast gotten thee riches, and hast gotten gold and silver into thy treasures. By thy great wisdom and by thy traffic hast thou increased thy riches, and thy heart is lifted up because of thy riches.
I'm not going to have time. Stop there. Read this right here. This is a commentary. This is a commentary called Ellicott's commentary on Ezekiel 28. We're going to see if this is making reference to just Tyrus or Sidon. Like we read earlier in Genesis 49, their borders shall be into Sidon, right? Or Tyrus, same place. Read that here. Read this is Ellicott's commentary. Read that. It's commentary on verse 2. I am a God. Read that.
I am a God. The arraignment of the prince occupies Ezekiel 28, 2-5.
You just read that just now, 2-5. Come on.
His consequent doom, Ezekiel 28, 6-10.
His fall, his conquest. Go ahead.
The point of the charge is inordinate pride, begotten of great prosperity.
The point of charge is his inordinate pride, begotten of what?
Great prosperity.
His great riches, his wealth, his traffic, his business. Go ahead, watch this.
This prosperity. Being attributed to his own powers instead of to its true source, led him to imagine himself almost more than mortal.
So God is the reason why these nations gain power and wealth. But this King Cyrus forgot that. Watch this.
Similar instances of what may be called the insanity of prosperity.
So similar instances of what may be called the insanity of prosperity or power. Go ahead, watch this.
May be seen in the case of Sennacherib,
Assyria,
of the then living monarch of Babylon, Nebuchadnezzar.
Happened to him, Babylon. Go ahead.
To whom this prophecy might well serve as a warning.
So this serves as a warning not only to the Assyrians, but also the Babylonians. Watch this. This prophecy. To whom this prophecy. Watch this.
Daniel 3:15, Daniel 4:30, Daniel 7:25, Daniel 11:36-37. Of Pharaoh.
Of Egypt, happened to him.
Ezekiel 29:3. Of Herod.
Of Herod's arrogance. So plaster Egypt, plaster Rome. Go ahead. Not just referring to Tyrus. It goes to Assyria, it goes to Babylon, it goes to Egypt, it goes to Rome. Watch this.
Of Herod, Acts 12:21-23.
Watch this.
Of the one foretold in 2 Thessalonians 2-4.
Who that? Who that talking about? That's America. Of the one foretold, who's the one foretold? The wicked. In 2 Thessalonians 2-4, so Esau knows that this scripture is multiply folded, it's multiple sourced. Double, so twofold, threefold, fourfold, they know that. So when it says Sidon or Tyrus in this instance, it's not always referring to that area. It's referring to multiple places. Just like when it says his border shall be into Sidon in Genesis 49, it's not referring to Sidon. It's referring to America in Genesis 49:13. The Sidon on that side of the world. This side of the world. Because this side of the world, metaphorically, is Tyrus too, or Babylon. Continue.
To which list might be added the names of some more modern conquerors.
See, to which list might be added the names of some more modern conquerors. Is America a conqueror? Yes. Is America prosperous? Yes. Is America against God arrogant? Yes.
Is it modern?
Is it modern? Yes. Continue.
And in the degree of many who have been eminently successful in other walks of life and have consequently sacrificed to their own net. Habakkuk 1:16.
Because Babylon, again, also in reference to America. Go ahead.
It is not to be supposed that the king of Tyre, like some Oriental monarchs,
like Asian monarchs, of the East, go ahead,
And later Roman emperors.
And later Roman emperors, go ahead.
Actually claimed for himself religious homage.
As God claimed deity, godhood, go ahead.
But he had that proud sense of elevation and self-sufficiency, which is only translated into words in the expressions of the text.
So the scholars know that when it talks about Tyrus or Sidon, it's not always making reference. It's not always making reference to just that place at that time. It's prophetic it's referring to other future empires. 2 Thessalonians 2 and 4 is referring to the wicked when you read further down. As in America, as in Edom. Babylon the Great, America, same thing. Like in Revelation 18, same thing.
You sit in the seat of God.
Sit in the seat of God saying, I am a God. That's revelation all over the place. That's not Babylon revelation. That's long after Babylon fell. John wrote that in, 96 AD? Between that time? So it's prophetic. That's like what says, his border shall be into Sidon. That's referring to this side of the world. His border will be on this side of the world. All right? So, go ahead, Cap. We have 3 minutes left. 3 minutes, right? All right, so, I want to thank the sisters, breakfast team, hooking us up with the food as usual. The food was amazing. Thank you for the sisters, as well as the IT team. Brothers did an excellent job today. We're going to work on the bombs and the swords. They're doing a good job so far. You're going to work on that.
Well, we had to fly somebody out for the bombs.
Oh, man. But anyways.
Somebody, fresh air.
Yes.
Fresh air. So, it gets to the brain.
Right.
Yep.
Philly is clogged up.
Oh, man.
Listen, we also give props where it's due. Shout out to Officer Mattathias from Seattle.
Right.
He got on the sound effects, you know what I'm saying, and delivered on time.
You had to fly out Judah to hear, Lord, the voice of Judah.
Save the day.
Yeah, shout out to Officer Mattathias in the building, dropping the bombs on time.
On time, salvation of the Jews. You got thou knows not what thou worship over there.
Oh, man.
Now, listen, you just gotta forgive IT. There's always a 4-second delay.
Right.
We'd also like to shout out the Levites on the show too. We don't want to, neglect our Levite brothers.
If what?
Right.
Oh man.
Man,
you took it too far.
Yeah,
man. We want to neglect the Levite, tribes. They think too often that we push them to the side. We touch on Northern Kingdom history. I'm pretty sure that one day Deacon will touch on Levi history. You guys have something to say, but
of
right
course.
now,
the Most High reserved the best for last.
All praises, man, for the new spirit of Captain Joel.
I repented, David told me. But other than that, all praise to the Most High. Thank you for tuning in to our Hidden History show. Once again, if you'd like to donate to the cause, all praises to the Most High. For those of you that have been donated, as you can see, we have upgraded equipment so the IT team could deliver the information a lot faster as well as smoother. So you could donate to iuic.philadelphia@israelunite.org. Once again, iuic.philadelphia@israelunite.org. You can place in the description box for the IUIC or Philadelphia Our Hidden History radio show. Thank you for your contributions. Please continue to support the truth. Also, please continue to support the Booster Club. As you can see, with your funds, with your donations, we're able to get the gospel out to the 4 corners of the earth and bring this truth even further. Once again, you can donate to iuic.fundraiser@israelunite.org as well.
Right. And the brother that sent the book, the PDF to the book about the Phoenicians, I want to send out my shout outs to you. Thank you very much. I got it. Some good stuff in there. And I'm trying to, I'm not sure who else sent some stuff, but whoever sent, I didn't get to it, but whoever sent stuff in emails, in books, in PDF format, thank you very much. We're going to use it in all due time. So thank you very much.
Yeah, send your books also to iuic.philadelphia@israelunite.org. So if you have books that you like to say you like to contribute, no, I'm just saying, not for myself.
Yeah,
But if you have books that you like to contribute to the cause, you could send it to iuic.philadelphia@israelunite.org. Also, if you like to contribute books to my collection, you could donate and put it in a donation box.
I've seen it.
Captain Joel Book Relief Fund.
Cap trying to go up on another name.
Captain Joel Book Relief Fund. Give to the needy.
Wow.
Shalom, Israel. Most High in Christ bless. Till next time.
Shalom, Israel. Most High in Christ bless.
Searching for the road to the way back. We don't know our father's going way back. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We the chosen people. You say no.